The following program is rated podcast MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, violence, and nudity. It is intended only for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised. Hey, Bikeaholics and listeners alike, the show is still going strong because of a lot of hard work and your support, of course. Thanks to all those loyal listeners and true friends of the show that have supported us or are supporting us. For less than a coffee a month, you can help support us too and put a little fuel in the law-abiding biker gas tank to make sure this show keeps moving on down the road. So, calling all law-abiding bikers, head over to our Patreon page and take action today. You can do so at lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. Oh, did I mention there's benefits too? From all your friends at lawabidingbiker.com, we appreciate each and every one of you. God bless and ride safe.
Whatever it is, just be leading back to one of us slitting your throat.
Let's get into this thing, guys.
Let's do it.
Oh, yeah. We're not going to waste a lot of time here. Welcome back, you freaky, deaky Sons of Anarchy fans. Glad you're tuning back in. Man, we have got some content for you guys today. We're not going to waste a lot of time. Got Chewy in the studio and somebody else we want to introduce you here.
What's up, fellas?
I don't know what you guys
ladies.
are... What are you guys waiting for? Mount up already. Let us take you on a ride. That's right, folks. This is Ryan Erlacher with lawabidingbiker.com and your host of the Law Abiding Biker podcast and your
high-tech redneck.
All right. We got, of course, that's Chewy in the studio, always manning up to come take care of business for the Sons of Anarchy episode, the special episodes, which this is. And, of course, we got somebody new who's never been in the studio before, but we've been wanting to get him up here. Jake, how goes it, buddy?
Good. Glad to be here.
Yeah, well, Jake's popping his podcast cherry today. Mm-hmm.
Pop goes the weasel.
You know it. How's it feel, man?
Good.
All right, good. Well, you sound good. You sound good on the mic. You look good over there. Real
Nice.
good. He's got his hat backwards and, yep, just chilling on the sofa.
Pro. He's already a pro.
So we got a ton of stuff. You guys rode over in the rain today. How was that? That's hardcore, dude. I like it. That's how we roll.
It almost felt like ice in some spots, hitting my face. But,
Yeah, it was definitely colder than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, well, that's hardcore. That's how we roll in the Soarin' Few, huh?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Ain't going to stop us.
That's how we do it.
And we're also freaky deaky Sons of Anarchy cult-like followers. Mm-hmm. We watched it together last night.
Yeah, we did.
At Chewy's house after a regular meeting, huh?
Yep.
All right. Did. Okay, well, you know what, guys? Let's get down to it now. For the rest of the season, we are going to try this. I'm not going to bore you with how much time and effort it takes. Of course, you all know we have the regular yearly, weekly podcast that goes year-round, and then we do this during the Sons of Anarchy season, these extra ones, and it's taxing us to try to get this stuff out to you guys. That's why we're doing one podcast episode per 2 episodes of actual television series. But we've come to a point in the season where, and we've had some requests too, so we're really going to try that for you guys. We're going to try to get out, one podcast episode per 1 television episode. Mm. So today's episode will be on, it was last night's episode, which aired November 4th, 2014, titled, What a Piece of Work is Man, of course, on the FX network. And so we're going to cover in-depth episode 9, the television episode 9. If you guys want all the show notes, which I always do for our podcast, it's lawabidingbiker.com. This one is going to be /SOA13. So /SOA13. If you ever want to get the show notes on our regular shows, it's just lawabidingbiker.com/ and the episode number. All the links that we talk about, all the show notes that accompanies each podcast that we publish. All right. Who wants to start here, dude? Let's just start.
Hey,
yeah, go ahead.
Can I talk about a prediction that I read on the internet? I think we talked about it last night when I told you about, kind of interesting that there was somebody saying that they believe that Jax is behind all of this. Of course, he's behind all the mayhem, but they believe he's behind everything to try to bring the club down.
So that he got his mom to kill Tara?
You know, I watched the first episode this week again with a friend. And,
what do you mean he's in on it? You need to explain this to the audience more, dude. That's not a good...
if you read, going back to John Teller's diary, John Teller talked about doing things to stop the club, to bring him down. So this person made a prediction that Jax is actually following in his dad's footsteps and trying to do things, bringing everybody against each other so that it brings everyone against the club and brings the club down so that he has a way out.
Wow.
Yeah, that's kind of a interesting.
Do you think he's anticipating the body count that he's getting now?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's a lot of things are going on.
So reading that rumor, is that something that you believe, or do you want to throw it out? Now's your time, man.
You know, watching this last episode and seeing his reaction and his facial expressions to some things that have happened, maybe he's becoming numb to all this because everyone around him is dying and people that he loves are getting hurt. So maybe he's just becoming numb to all of it. But it just seems like I noticed his expressions in this episode were just he just had no emotion to anything. So I don't know.
So man up, yes or no? Is he here's the question, and I'll let you both answer. So with your prediction there, is he involved with actually taking the club down, and he's going to walk away because his whole motive is to take the club down in his father's footsteps because his father wrote the journal and all that, and that's what John Teller wanted. Do you think that's his whole mission right now, and that he's actually going to do that and walk? Now it's your prediction first, then Jake. Okay. You brought it up. You're in the hot seat.
This is something that I read, so it's interesting to hear what people think.
You button hooked me. I didn't know you were going to button hook.
Sorry, I button hooked you. Go ahead.
It's interesting to read what people think and their predictions and things like that. Honestly, I never.
What are you, a freaking attorney? Answer the question. Look at him over there. He's an attorney.
I'm getting to it. I had never thought of it that way, really. But now that somebody that I read this, once you start looking at things and watching, if you go back through some of the episodes and watching his reaction, watching the way that he does things, it could be true. Do I think it is? No, I don't.
All right. So
I don't.
Great conversation. But at the end of the day, Jake, how about you?
Yeah, I agree. It's an interesting point, but I don't think so either.
I will go in 3 with you guys and say ain't gonna happen. But yeah, interesting point. So let's start with episode 9 here, and Jackson crew meet up at now Letitia's son. Do you guys know Leticia? Or Latricia, sorry. You know who she is? They finally said her name, so I got it. That's the dead pastor's wife.
Pastor's wife that's all hooked on the heroin that's in detox right now.
Right.
Okay.
Right, exactly. So we're going to be referring to her as Latricia because they finally start saying, Jack says her names in the episode.
And Detox is the cabin, correct?
Right. It's a private facility.
Yeah, private facility.
Exactly
run by Gemma and Wendy.
That's what Jack's called it. He's in a private, or she's in a private facility.
Yeah.
So they need that cell phone. And of course, we all know that the footage on that cell phone, and you guys correct me if I'm, stop me if you have something to input here or I'm getting it wrong, but they need that cell phone with the sex videos. And the sex videos are some young males boning the pastor in the rear.
Give that to him.
That is correct.
Just going at it. But that is cell phone footage that Marks would like to have, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's correct. Mm-hmm.
Because he could leverage that against him.
He can. Yep.
And it could squash that affidavit or anything they may have on him if they can put him down, or put her down, I guess, and use that as leverage, then that's something in his pocket. So let's get in a little deeper here. The crew meets with August Marks, and this is, did you guys see the oil drill rig in the back and stuff?
Yeah.
Yes.
Down in California, I take it. They obviously have those in places.
I don't know where, probably up there near Sacramento somewhere or something.
They're little too. It was like 2 wells, but I know they drill down there. But they meet at a oil drill facility, and this we really need to listen into and get the full gist of what's going on here. So let's go ahead and take a listen to that right now. Yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
You know what's interesting? It seems like in this meeting too, it's almost like what's the guy's name? The guy that's got Bobby.
That's Moses Cartwright.
Moses is. Yeah. It almost seems like Moses is the one leading. He's Marx's muscle. I know that, but it seems like he's leading this meeting.
Well, when they were,
because he's hurrying them up.
Well, you're right. When they were talking, he said, "We really need to move.
We need to get this going.
Sir, we need to move this along, or something like that."
Yeah, you're right. And Moses is trying to keep him somewhat squared away as a security detail and whatnot. So, all right, let's listen in on this.
It's good you showed up. Should be between you and me. Not your ghosts.
Things have turned so quickly, Jackson. Deeply disappointed.
I can see that.
We had everything to gain.
Not me. I'd already lost too much.
Broke the first rule of business. Letting personal feelings poison your choices.
That's what happens when your wife gets brutally murdered in your own home.
You should have come to me about Lynn.
You know I couldn't do that. You He'd have told me to wait and then watched me like a hawk. I had no choice.
You didn't want another choice.
You don't have family, August. You can never understand. I'm sorry you feel betrayed. This had to happen.
Look where we are, Jax. Is this what you wanted? Piles of bodies, relationships destroyed, and the guy you were going after is still alive.
I'm not done yet.
Yeah, that's clear. Because now you're blackmailing me. Using innocent people to frame me for a murder I didn't commit.
I don't think you're allowed to claim them as innocents. You threaten them, you exploit their church, now you're trying to destroy everything they love.
You killed the pastor?
We found him in the projects. When we're tracking down that East Dub OG that off the bastards. I'm guessing one of his freak show friends got to him. He was cut up pretty bad.
Excuse me, sir. We should move this along.
Where's this leverage you promised?
I'll give you this and the pastor's body. You don't need the wife and son.
Where are they?
Kid's MIA. Mom's in detox, private facility. You don't need them.
Why are you protecting them?
I made a promise.
I believe that. However, I also know you've been in touch with the son. We need to bring him when you deliver the body.
I can't let...
I'm not gonna kill him. I just need to make sure he understands the severity of the situation, the importance of silence. This is as far as I've been, Jackson. You want Bobby alive? Deliver the kid, that phone, and the pastor. Here, 4 p.m.
Yeah, basically, from what I understand, well, Jax was meeting with August Marks, and they're trying to work out how to get Bobby back. And Jax offered to give him the video of the pastor basically getting railed by some of his freak show friends, and his body, and showed him the picture, and I guess I showed him the video of it, and also I guess let slip that he was cut up pretty bad when they found him, and said he didn't kill him.
What's that about though?
Saying he was cut up real bad. I think he's setting up how he's going to deliver the body later, because he wanted some leverage there, and so he was setting up that he was cut up, and it wasn't going to look real nice when they brought the body. So he wanted to keep, I guess, like we know what's going to happen later, but yeah, he wanted to keep some leverage there with the body.
The interesting thing is he wants Marks asked for the pastor's son as well.
Right.
He told Jax. And honestly, I don't know why Jax is. Maybe you can tell me, Ryan.
I don't. It's a good question.
Why is he protecting these two people? I mean,
because he made a promise.
I guess, but I mean, geez,
I don't know, dude.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
We made a promise to Lynn and all these other guys, and then, Lynn, we know why he's killing him. I think he killed Tara, but
Jax, he's just
good call, Jake.
He's lying to it's so interesting. He's lying to everyone in this show. He's lying to. He's lying to his own club. He's lying to the sheriff. He's lying to his enemies. He's lying to everybody.
But apparently not to Latricia and her son. He's lied to him, but I don't know why he wants to protect him. It's a good question. I'm glad you brought it up, because for the life of me, unless the only thing I can think in his twisted little world and his mind is like that's his last
maybe
thing that he can possibly, out of this whole situation, he's so fucked that it's the last thing that he could possibly do good out of this whole shitty situation. And so he's got to hang on to that. So it makes it somehow, I know that's getting deep, but in his mind, so it makes it somehow that it wasn't all for bad.
Yeah. And see, and my thought was Mark's asking for him to bring that son, the pastor's son, with him. I'm like, that he's going to kill that kid.
Yeah.
I thought Jack's going to bring him and he's going to kill him. I mean, he's not just going to show, or he's going to do something, because he's got to, how's he going to make?
But we know he didn't kill him later.
No, how's he make him understand that he's serious? Someone's going to get hurt. And I thought it was him. I thought it was going to be the pastor's son. I thought he was going to kill him.
For some reason, I didn't believe, just like you were talking about the looks and how they were conversing, I didn't believe that Marks was going to do that. I believe, for whatever reason, maybe I'm a little bit naive, but I got a gut feeling that was actually, out of all the lies, that was a truth, that he was actually going to show up. That was just my opinion. And of course, he didn't kill the kid. I think he just wanted to put the fear of God in him about, like he says, how important silence is.
You got to think about how someone was going to have to get hurt. How is he going to install that into the guy to make him believe, honestly, fear for his life and believe that?
Well, we know now,
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we
which
do.
we'll get in. But at the time, I didn't. You know,
No,
honestly, I didn't
had
really
no,
know.
No.
No, I agree there. I didn't know at the time why he wanted the son. I guess I knew why. I didn't know what he was going to say. I was the same way as you, Dustin.
So Marks needs the son, the phone,
And the body.
and the body, location of the body,
And
and in exchange for Bobby, right?
And you, thinking about it, you got to know that Jax, well, actually, no, he kind of surprised me with what he did, you know, taking apart the bodies and putting the head and different torso, because
That was a great
I
scene.
guess, you know, in law enforcement terms, the best having to try to turn him in, to try to turn Marks in for having this dead body. One of the most important things you're going to have that Jax would have is the teeth, which he didn't have because he gave that up, and the hands for fingerprints. I mean, you could use DNA for the other body parts, but that, I mean,
It would take a little while.
it takes a little while. It's not going to be instantaneous, you know. So, because that's kind of surprised me.
So there's the 5-0 coming out.
I actually thought
is.
this scene was one of the most humorous ones of the whole one, where Happy and Tig are going to cut up the one body, and Happy is getting ready to. Well, they're getting ready to cut the arm off, and Tig's getting ready to do it, and Happy's like, "No, I'll do it." And Tig says, I like working with you, Happy, because you make me look like the normal one.
I know, dude. He got a big old smile on his face. That was freaking hilarious. So Jackson and Chibs are actually with the pastor's body, and Chibs and Tig and Happy are with the other black guy that they killed when they raided that little sex escapade back like episode 2 or 3, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And why don't you explain what they're doing there to clean this up, why they're cutting the head and the arm and what they're doing here?
Basically, because they want, Marks wants the body. So Jax has got other. He wants to turn him in and get Marks arrested later on. So
He wants to pretend, right? Like it's the body?
He wants to pretend it's the body. So basically, he cuts off the arms because of the pastor, because there's certain tattoos that, and he's thinking here because Marks may know that this pastor has marks or scars, and so he does that. He cuts his arms off, cuts his head off, attaches it to another one of the other bodies,
Torso and legs.
Yes, that he killed, and basically keeps the other torso of the pastor for later on, so that he can turn the information into the sheriff, so that they can go dig the body up and arrest Marks, basically, and make Marks believe that, hey, he did get the body, he did get the pastor. Here's the body, but in actuality, they only give him part of the body. So Jax is holding that little card, keeping the real body, the torso, and the rest of it beside, minus the head and the left arm, keeping the rest of the body buried on his property, right? Yep.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he had his guys basically cut these bodies apart and then sew the head onto this other body part and sew the arm on.
And Tig had like little tissue up his nose, dude. They're all freaking puking and stuff.
The other guys had handkerchiefs over their faces too. Yeah.
Yeah, and just to say what you said a little bit ago, the 5-0 part. Yeah, you're right. The teeth. Technically, law enforcement can identify things quicker with teeth and all that. But at the end, with something like that, probably get a DNA sample. On it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So either way, I guess.
And the way they set it up too, Marks is not going to say, maybe he could say, well, I had Jax bring me the body. He could tell the sheriff that, hey, I asked him and he brought me the body of this other. So,
right. Good point.
Start going down that road. Then.
So they could, he could get Jax for, where'd you get this other body? Because this other body does not match the head. The DNA on this body does not match the head and the arm.
I think you'd have an issue of proof there. And then the other thing is, I think the thing that really gets Marks on this is a big land deal, and any kind of, I guess, wrench or anything that makes him look bad, not like an upstanding businessman, is going to make that whole thing fall apart. Mm-hmm. And this, in regard, even if he did that business deal is still gone. I think, and that would just still upset him. Yeah.
And, I get where you're going. That's a good point that you brought up. Could Marks later go, hey, if he gets caught with that body or, I don't know. I don't see that happening. I guess because he would be guilty in it too he would be guilty of murder anyways because he didn't tell him for X amount of time.
Right.
I don't know. That's just my opinion if that would ever come up. So Jackson Chibs sit down and talk. The guy, remember the redhead guy that got really pissed off when Jax killed Jury?
And he's now the president.
Yes, good call. So you guys want to talk about that little meeting and what's going down there?
basically what happens is they come in. I don't know the guy's name, but
I don't either.
At the last episode, he was with Jury when they showed up, and Jax talked to Jury, asked him if he was the rat. And basically what happened is Jury said, "No, I'm not the rat. I wanted you dead, but I'm not a rat, and I didn't rat." And Jury starts talking to Jax about how he knew his dad. He's real close to his dad. His dad had written a book. I'm talking about John Teller. John had written a book, had basically laid out and basically told Jax, "Hey, your dad committed suicide. Your dad."
But the VP didn't hear any of that.
No, and he was telling Jax that his dad would be.
This is the
ashamed
meeting
of him.
with the VP.
Right. I'm trying to lead into that.
Gotcha.
But, so Jax ends up punching Jury based off of all this because he's fed up. He's tired of hearing this. So he punches Jury, knocks him on the ground. A gun falls out, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Correct? Gun falls out.
Jury
grabs the gun, goes to actually raise it towards Jax, and Jax shoots him in the head. Okay, during this scene, during episode 9, the redhead is talking about why this happened and what he saw. He said no. I believe Jax said that he had been threatened by Jury first, and the redhead said no. The new president said no. He did not threaten you. You punched him, knocked him on the ground, and then he grabbed his gun
in self-defense.
Yeah, right, in self-defense, and you killed him. And Jack says, "Well, you obviously saw things that you didn't know." He goes, "I know what happened. You think you saw what happened, but you don't know what happened."
What else out of that? There was one thing I remember that I want to bring up, and
one thing that pissed me off is that the new vice president said something to Jax at the very end. He said, "Yeah, he made some comment.
Consider this your heads up.
Consider this your heads up."
Because basically
basically like they're threatening him.
Well, what they were telling him was they didn't know. They were upset and thought that Jax he had to pay for what happened, and so then Jax and Chibs tell these two guys that he was a rat.
You're
and
right.
Point out about the son, and they said we didn't know anything about the son.
They explain it to him. Yep, you're right.
And Chibs tells him, well, his mom lives here about an hour away, and she can confirm it. And then they said, well, this still has to be figured out by a forum, by a non-partial group. And
good call.
We're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing that. We're contacting them, and this something has to be done. And then that's when that dude was like, consider this your heads up.
Right. Way to clean that up. And
good.
Basically, the way I understood that scene, a forum in their club is they grab a charter from North, they grab a charter from South. Those two charters act as a jury, and they will oversee basically whatever evidence is brought to the table, and they'll make an internal club decision based on that. Because he told him, he goes, "I'm having a meeting with them, and I'll let you know what needs to be done," is what he said. "I'll let you know what needs to be done." And so basically that, it's like an internal trial, basically, is the way I understood that.
Right, and I kind of thought that after it was over that maybe Chibs and Jax were a little worried about it because then they were taking further steps.
Right, I agree. And Chibs sat down and after that, and he said, "I swear, brother, I didn't know anything about this, didn't see it coming," and all that kind of stuff. Now, obviously, that president, Chewie, he doesn't think that, he doesn't believe that Jury's a rat, right?
No,
he stood his guns on that.
Nope. He says, "No, I know what I saw." He says, "I saw you assault, punch him. And then he was defending himself, grabbed the gun, and you shot him in the head."
Right.
So he doesn't believe. He says no. He says no. Jury was not a rat. So he doesn't believe Jax.
And then Chibs said he was the only one outside of the charter that knew where the Chinese guns were, but we know that's different.
Right, and that's weird that they this whole time they aren't focusing on. Chibs sat there, like you say, Jake. That's really good recall. Is he's the only other one that knew where the guns were. That's bullshit. We all know that Borowski knew where they were. They're stored in his freaking warehouse.
Now, here's another question, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I rewatched episode 1 when they meet at Diosa in the club, and they have the Irish guy there, and he tells.
They meet where?
When they have the party. Remember when they set up this party when they're going to meet and
with
talk
the Chinese?
About all
the night they killed Chris Dunn, the Chinese guy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Jax tells. Who's Connor? Right, Connor. Mm-hmm. He tells Connor. So Connor, I think, knows about the guns. Because he tells Connor, "You need to tell." I don't specifically remember exactly the words that he said, but it was more of, "This is what you want to tell them." That he basically sets them up. He has the Irish set them up.
Right.
Basically says, we're going to agree to this. So I'm thinking that maybe the Irish, Connor knows as well about the guns.
That's a good point. I think the only thing that makes me look at the old frickin' Borowski too, though, is they're in that one. And
I said that in that episode.
A couple episodes back when he killed his, Borowski had his one little cop that was working for him or something. And then he started to talk and Borowski shot him before he finished.
Good call, because we talked about that a little bit. Yeah, so I guess our prediction, I think we can all kind of agree, is that when they went to the pawn shop, the security guy that was supposed to be on watch for the guns, they confronted him. What do you want to know? And it was really out of place that Borowski shot him so fast in the head. And I think we talked about a little bit, and for the audience, we believe our prediction is that guy knows something deeper, and Borowski basically made it look like he was taking care of a problem. However, he was taking care of his own problem because he knew this guy's going to talk.
He says you never know who you can trust.
Exactly.
That's what he tells Jack.
Yep. Also, to clean that up, my prediction, and you guys can give your prediction or if you agree, is, again, Borowski's been laying low, and the last couple episodes we haven't seen hide nor hair of him. Kurt's good at that. Kurt Sutter, he puts him in the background, out of sight, out of mind. And this whole time, I can't believe Jax is stupid enough and those guys to go, wait a minute, what about Borowski? And so my prediction is Borowski, it wasn't Jury. I believe Jury that he wanted Jax dead, but he's not a rat. And I believe that I thought he was the rat too, and I still would believe he's the rat if I wouldn't have saw how he said it.
In the back of Jax's mind, he has to know that Jury was not the rat. He has to know because of the way that he told Jax and the way his expression. He said, "I'm not a rat. I wanted you dead, but I'm not a rat."
Right.
So Jax got pissed off at Jury because Jury was basically bringing up some things about his dad. Bringing up some personal things on him, and it caused what happened. And now Jax is trying to cover himself, saying no, he was the rat, and he killed another president. So now he's trying to cover his tracks. But Jax has to know in the back of his mind that Jury was not a rat, based off of that conversation, based off of how Jury reacted. He has to know that he wasn't a rat. Yeah,
I agree that I don't believe that Jury was the rat either, and I think Borowski's the most logical one.
But until that episode, when
we all thought it was
Popeye made the prediction, and I was like, yeah, you're right. But no, after watching that episode, no, Jury he did not rat.
Well, Sutter was I think he was pretty clever in trying to steer you the wrong way, because when the audience found out way before anybody else did that kid was Jury's kid, we're like, oh man, he's going to retaliate against Jack somehow. So we thought the whole time it was him, and then he threw this monkey wrench at us.
We made two good predictions too. Ryan did about that kid, because I believed it was his son. Just his reaction, I believed it was his son. But he made a good prediction too of it being his gay lover,
dude. Yeah,
it was really.
That still got me bugged. But anyway, so enough on that. I think our prediction here in the room, guys, and to the listeners, is that Borowski is going to be the one found to have been the rat and told the Chinese, and we'll find out why. Obviously, it's going to have to do something with power and money, but I think Borowski is going to get called out dirty here. Coming up real soon. So let's roll into Chibs, and they leave the room, right? The president and the Indian Hills and all that. This is when they walk out, and now Jax and Chibs have their little conversation. Let's listen into what they say.
I had no idea about this, Jackie.
Last thing this charter needs.
We got to prove Jury spoke to Lynn.
Juice is the only one that can do that. A rat vetting out a rat ain't gonna hold much weight.
Tully gets a phone to the rat bastard. We record that.
All right, good. Reach out to White and put it in motion.
Aye.
I can't wrap my head around this, guys. Maybe both of you can sit in there, can help me, because, and I'm sure there's somebody out there that has got this, the listening audience, and they're like, Ryan, you're an idiot. You're right, I am. But I try to wrap my head around this. Basically, what they're talking about there is okay, how are we going to prove, that Jury was the one that ratted? Because Jax is like, okay, the only way that they're going to back off me, the club and their forum, is if I can go to the forum and tell them we have definitive proof that Jury is the one that ratted. And this is the weirdest part is Jax tells him, he goes, well, Juice is the only one that can do that, but Juice is a rat, and we can't have a rat not a rat. That doesn't work. He specific, and I rewinded it like 4 times. He says Juice knows. Juice is the only one. And so before I ask my question is to put it in perspective here, they want to give, basically Chib says, well, we'll give him a phone. We'll give it to Tully. We'll give it to Juice. We'll record it. So somehow they're going to set Juice up with a phone in prison. They're going to get him to say that Jarry was the one that's the rat, and they're going to record it. My whole problem with this is how in the hell and where did that come from that Juice knows that Jarry's the one that told him?
I have no
Anybody?
idea. Yeah.
I think what
I'm lost on
I
that.
think what their intent was, and that's how I read it, and it could just be my reading, is they are taking steps to put Juice in a room with Lynn to kill him, and they're hoping that Juice can get that phone and record Lynn admitting that the one who told him about this was
there you
Jarry.
go. But I thought they said Tully.
Well, they're going to give the phone to Tully, who's supposed to get it to
You're
Juice,
right.
who's in prison.
He's right.
Dude.
Yep, you're right.
What a guy. Thank you, because
Yeah, I was confused on that. I thought they were him and Tully were gonna talk, and I'm like, how the? Yeah.
so
You're
right, Jake. Good job, man. Seriously. That was bothering me today when I was taking notes and I rewound it 4 times. I'm like, how does Juice? You're absolutely right.
He is.
So basically what I read into it a little far, what I think what you're saying, Jake, is, Jack said Juice is the only one that can do that.
Because he's
Right.
the only one that's
You
going to
know
have
what, guys?
contact with
Lynn.
You know what, guys? Now that comes up, we're gonna find out that Jarry was not the person that ratted.
Because Lynn is going
I
to
agree.
tell Juice who it is.
Lynn is gonna tell Juice
It's
the
Broski.
person. Yes,
Like we've already made that. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yep. Jake, thank you for that, buddy. That really was bugging me. I'm like, what did I miss
me too.
in this
I was
season?
confused on that.
Yeah. All right, so they get done with that little conversation. So apparently Tully's going to be involved with it. We all know he's calling the shots in the prison and all that. That's Marilyn Manson playing the AB, Aryan Brotherhood guy in jail. So
Oh, hey, I have a question before we continue on. Okay, so when Jax shoots Jarry, Chibs is there. Chibs sees it as well. Does Chibs believe what Jax is telling him, or does Chibs know that Jax is lying
about which part?
about Jarry being the person, about Jarry telling him that he ratted?
Well,
Because Jax tells people. I wanted to mention this earlier and I forgot.
That's all right.
But Jax, was telling the new president that Jarry told me that he ratted, and that's why I killed him.
Right.
But Chips has to know that. Does Chips believe that?
Basically, I think we're going off the assumption that unless Chibbs is really acting it out, that he's believing Jax's word is gospel on that.
And,
Jack
but
said
he
that
has to know, because sitting there in that meeting when the redhead, the new president, and the other guy are there, Chips has to know what the redhead's saying is what Chips had to see the same thing.
Right, but then Jack said, well, he admitted he didn't know neither one of them knew what the conversation was between Jax and Jarry.
Right.
And so Jack said, no, he admitted he was the
So,
rat.
and they're saying once he admitted it, Jax punched him, knocked him down, and then he went for his gun and he killed him.
That's what I understand.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, good call. I'm going to leave that with you guys right there. So one of the exciting scenes in this episode, guys, was that chase scene. And anybody want to talk about how that evolved?
Basically, what was going on was Jax and the club was talking to the son of Latricia. I forget his name, honestly.
I forget it too.
Right. And they were talking to him about how they were going to
Up at the cabin, right?
Yeah, they were up at the cabin, and they were talking to him about how they were going to go meet with August and give him that video from the phone and the body. And kid got upset.
And this is all to get Bobby back.
Yeah, it's all to get Bobby back, and they're trying to explain to him, you'll still be safe. We're still gonna, make sure that you keep your congregation. This is just leverage. Telling him all that. Well, he thinks his mom's gonna still be in danger, and he freaks out. Ends up hitting one of the club members. And
he goes out to get the cell phone. He said it's in my SUV, right?
He leaves.
Okay. He goes, it's in my SUV, and he walks out, and they're all like, okay, he's going to get the phone.
Jumps in the SUV and takes off.
Well, did he hit one of the club members with a tire iron? Because he comes in, they're all like, what happened? And the Sam Crow guys come stumbling in.
The Hispanic guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hit him, and then he takes off in the Land Rover. And so then all the SOA guys, all the Sons guys jump on their bikes and chase him.
Well, the guy that gets hit over the head with the tire iron comes in.
Right.
And basically they're all just relaxed there.
He took
and
it
he
off.
tells them, hey, I got hit in the head. He's taking off. So that's when they're all, oh, shit. So then they go out, get on their bikes, and give chase after him.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they're chasing him. And then one of the first things that happens, he ends up running Happy off the road. Yeah. And Happy goes down. And he's clearly pissed off. His bike's damaged.
And then Jax pulls his bike in front of the SUV, thinking he's going to stop the SUV on a motorcycle.
Right, they box him in like a rolling roadblock almost with motorcycles.
On motorcycles.
And then,
then Hollywood.
And Tig goes up and Tig shoots the driver's window out and then acts like he...
And has the gun on him and tells him to stop.
Mm-hmm. Now, you know what was interesting about this little scene? Jax gets rammed on his motorcycle.
In the back. Yes, you're right.
Gets rear-ended.
I love this song, by the way.
And what's funny is he gets rear-ended.
And he doesn't go down.
Right.
He got rammed by an SUV and didn't go down.
And the fact that you're even going to do that on a motorcycle.
That's funny.
But they always have an awesome song in a chase.
Yeah, and
exactly.
They
didn't have any music.
Nope.
I think when we were watching, I even said there's going to be a cool song. And it didn't happen.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. So let's clean this up real quick because there's not a lot to this, guys, except that they finally get him stopped. Happy comes up. He's pissed. He punches him just to get it out of his system.
Well, that's at the very end.
I know. I'm just saying that. Yeah.
Okay.
This is a quick scene.
Okay.
He punches him at the end and whatever, gets his little revenge there. But the key is that he was going to go to Mark's. He wanted to go turn himself and the boy to Mark's and say, hey, take me, not my mother.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my sacrifice, but leave my mother alone. Mm-hmm. Jack says, hey, we're trying to end him. It's not your place. You have no idea who you're dealing with. And we need the phone. And so at that time, he tells Tig or something, get the phone. So out of all this huge scene, that's what it comes down to is they retrieve the damn cell phone with the sex footage on it, right?
Yeah. He tells Jax, I got to end this. And Jax screams at him and says, no, that is what we're going to do.
Right.
We're going to end this.
Right, exactly. Yeah. All right, so let's move on to this. And we talked about this a little bit, guys, but we haven't played this one. And this is Tyler meets with Jack at the cabin. This is the old, I accidentally played it earlier, but it wasn't, we didn't mean to. Yeah. So here's a little clip we want to listen. And this is when Tyler goes to the cabin. He kind of makes some funny comments and Tig comes back at him a little bit. Let's listen into what they have to say and then we'll discuss it.
You guys are going full redneck.
We used to have a couple of blackheads on the wall, but we took them down, out of respect.
I appreciate that. Hey, you got another package for Marks and his Black Ops.
Yep. And it's going to be the last one.
I need you to set up a meet with August. Him or Moses, doesn't matter. I'll give him the pastor's body and leverage that will prove that the mom and son can't touch him.
And we've tried that already.
I got video footage of the pastor's deviant kink habit. Him in full slave mode, taking it up the ass by underage boys.
Oh, nice.
What the hell?
They hit with a tire iron. Took off.
Shit. We set that meat.
And of course, that's the scene we just talked about at the very end there, because they were talking about it and the kid was there and the tire iron comes in. So that's how that all came about. And then the chase, but we've already talked about that. So this, what I want to get out of this particular scene we're focusing in on is Tyler's meeting with Jax again. And he wants he tells him that he's got that leverage, that phone. And Tyler didn't really know, I don't think, up until that point, right? That he had that phone and the leverage.
No, I don't think he did.
No, and Tyler's he's playing the middle ground. He's not with Jax.
I agree. I think he's playing both sides.
No, he's playing both. He's more on the side of Marks than he is Jax. He's getting intel from Jax so that he can turn around and tell it to Marks.
I agree. And we're going to dive into that deeper later because I do. That's awesome. The whole point here, guys, is that he's using Tyler right here. All he called Tyler for is, hey, this is what we've got, and I need you to set up a meeting. I need to basically have a meet with. He didn't care. He said he'll even meet with Cartwright, with Moses. Yep. I don't think he was expecting August to actually show up, which we know he did later, which we'll talk about. But so Tyler, hey, set up the meet. That's the last thing he says before they go get in the chase is set the meet up. Anything else on that, guys?
Nope, I don't have anything.
No,
all right.
Me neither.
So Unser and Gemma meet, and Rad is there. Let's listen in on this little clip, and then we'll discuss it because there's quite a bit to discuss on this.
Juice gave up a name, Chris Dunn, one of the Chinese that killed Tara and Eli.
Why would he do that?
He's making a deal, trying to get protection in Stockton.
Does Jax know?
Your boy's calling all the shots. Getting Juice next to Henry Lynn. Gonna finish the payback.
What's that got to do with me?
Jerry's gonna come to you to corroborate his name. Have you ID Chris Dunn's mugshots.
I looked through all those mugshot books. I didn't recognize anyone.
trust me, the last thing I want is Juice doing the club's bloody work. I'm just here giving you a heads up. The DA is going to press you for cooperation.
Did you hear all that?
I did.
Sneaky Pete. You gonna say something or just stare at my tits?
Jax is gonna need you to identify Dunn.
Spencer's right. You guys are setting up Juice to kill.
You don't need to know.
We ready to go?
Get out.
I was just asking.
Go back to the kids' room. I'll tell you when to come out.
Go ahead, sweetheart.
You don't need details about Juice. Just know it's to help the club. Go to the sheriff. ID the Chinese guy from the party.
Yeah. Okay. Don't buy into the myth. But to wear the patch, you gotta treat women like shit. Because when it comes to finding a good old lady, you don't get what you want, Rat. You get what you are. Don't be a dick.
A lot happened in the scene. Rat was listening in, of course, to Unser and Gemma.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we hear him come in afterwards and talk to Gemma a little bit. But basically, what it comes down to is Unser told her the information, but Rat gave her orders. And obviously, he must have got that from Jax. You're going to go to Sheriff Jarry. You're going to identify Chris Dunn, which is the Chinese guy that's already dead that got the knife in the skull. But yeah, that's the plan that's in motion.
Yep.
They are on track to hang this guy.
Actually, Rat is growing some balls.
He is.
He is.
Yep.
He's really coming out with his character.
Like the last episode, he was scared. Even Jax was telling him to go talk to his mom, and he's like,
yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to sit there, or you're going to say something, or you're going to stare at my tits.
Yeah.
Probably staring at the scar in between them.
Stare at her tits? Yuck.
The scar in between them.
No,
Right.
she's gross.
He
dude.
wants
I
to
don't
lick
care.
the scar in
That's
between them.
That's beat up leather is what that is.
All right. So anything else out? We know. Yeah, they did the whole. He's talking bad to his old lady, and don't be a dick. And
That's part of being a.
yeah,
He's
welcome.
just coming into being a. He's getting some confidence and being a club member.
Yep. Exactly. Now, doesn't Unser later meet up with Sheriff Jarry?
Yeah, she comes out to see him when he's at the he's at that Taylor
That's quite a
Motors.
bit later on, isn't it?
What when Unser meets with Sheriff Jarry?
Yeah,
Sheriff
that's-
Jarry doesn't meet with Unser.
Or he meets
until-
with Gemma. Sorry,
Yeah.
because Gemma does this right, and she's got to go down there. It was right after this. Nero comes in. And he's like, everything okay? Because she heard him, don't be a dick.
You're right.
And then Gemma, they end up going to keep it in perspective. It doesn't matter if it's later. She ends up going down there too.
Because
to meet with Sheriff
Rat
Jarry.
basically gave her the information that Jax told Rat. Rat
There you
told
go.
her, you're going to go down there and identify
Chris Dunn.
Chris Dunn as the person that came out of the house.
Right.
You're going to identify him.
Very good. And so she sits down with Sheriff Jarry and she presents her with that big
That's a pretty
book.
good scene there.
It is.
Scott sucking sheriff.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're going to play a clip, go ahead, because there's stuff that I want to talk about how Gemma knows that the sheriff is involved with.
Chibs had to have
With
told
Chibs.
the club because
I mean, I gotta find, because I don't know how she knew that.
I don't think that was ever shown in the show.
No, it wasn't.
But
Because she knows, she's like, you're sucking on Irish cock, or she said that earlier, Scottish cock.
but when Jerry
And then
can-
then when Gemma goes in there to talk with the sheriff, she basically calls her out on it and says, "You're part of you're dealing with the club. The club's got you. The club's buying you."
well, then when Jerry confronts Chibs about it later, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry." So it's almost like he admitted, "Yeah, I told everybody."
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I wonder why he would do that.
That's stupid. I mean, that's dumb. I don't know why you would do that.
Yeah.
Except
for Jax, you would tell Jax, because Jax is the president. You would let Jax know, hey, I'm talking to the sheriff. The sheriff's giving, I'm giving the sheriff information.
And a little bit of something else.
And a little bit of,
yeah, no doubt, dude. I think that's exactly why he's doing it. But I think he wanted to tell Jackson them behind the scenes, because he basically is telling him, hey, I got her.
Yeah.
She's paying, we're paying her, and
but
I'm fucking her.
And
You
the
gotta win.
fact that Gemma knows, though, is that surprised me.
right. And that's the question, Chewy, and I agree. Is
Agreed.
I don't know how
Because she
the
mentioned
hell.
it. She mentioned it to Nero as they're going down. She said something like, we're gonna go talk to
The Scott sucking sheriff.
Scott sucking sheriff. Yeah. And that right there, I was like, what the? So she knows. That,
Referring to Chibs, of course.
That they know, she knows that they're boning.
So later, obviously, she presents her with the book, the huge book of pictures, and Gemma's like, nope, don't recognize anybody. Then she pulls a single picture of Chris Dunn out and shows her, and she goes, yep, that's the guy I saw.
Very admissible in a court of law.
Yes. Let's briefly.
That's how it works. Yeah.
I'll briefly tell the listeners what we mean by that. In real life, that is not a good photo montage, and it would never hold up in court. That's why we laugh here in the studio about that. To do a proper photo montage, you have to have like 5 photos, and the suspect might not even be in it. And there's all kinds of rules. You can't just hold up a photo of someone and say, is this the guy that did it? Because it's kind of persuasive.
At least here in Washington, you can't do that.
Right. I don't think anywhere on that one. I think that's federal even, that you can do that. So yeah, you got to do a proper photo. But anyways, aside from that, so she says, and she's sticking to her story, that is the guy. And they get a little bit heated here, and little cat fight, guys. Little cat fight going on. But I thought this was a interesting enough scene and some information that's divulged that we need to take a listen in.
Save the righteous cop bullshit for someone dumb enough to buy it. I know you're on the take.
What did you say?
Seriously? You're gonna break out the Dirty Harriet routine? You can't play both sides, sweetheart. You're on the club's dime and Chibs' dick.
It's okay. I'm fine. Wait outside. Now, Sheriff.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me make myself clear, Mrs. Teller. I am not on your son's team. I am playing by the corrupt rules of your dysfunctional little town.
So if I call the DA right now, she's gonna know all about your MC Petty Cash Fund?
I serve and protect my quadrant my way. That's all she has to know.
All right, Althea. Far be it from me to burst anybody's happy little bubble. I'll keep on telling myself that I'm a model citizen, and you keep on pretending that badge ain't tarnished.
You lay your hands on me again, I will throw your white trash ass in jail.
Well, I guess you'll have to, because if you ever slap me again, I'll shoot you in the throat.
I'll shoot you in the throat. It all leads back to somebody cutting your heart out.
Here's another question. Why is Gemma upset because this is a female coming in? Because Unser was the sheriff, and the club had him. Why is she upset about
who's upset?
Gemma. Gemma's mad at her because
no, I don't think she's mad. I think Gemma's just like calling her out, and she tried to deny it
because she's basically because the sheriff is basically coming at Gemma. And Gemma feels like the sheriff is thinking that Gemma has something to do with.
Well, I think she's coming at her. She's coming at her like, I'm a hard ass cop. And she's like, that's bullshit.
Right.
We're paying you money. Don't give me that.
Okay. I got you.
Exactly. Gemma's just standing her ground, so to speak, doing the little alpha female or whatever you want to, hey, I'm calling you out. I know all about your bullshit. So don't stay out there and act righteous like you're some good investigator. I know you, right? Is that,
that's kind of what I
got you.
I call your bullshit. That's pretty much all that came out of that scene. Now, this is a funny one. Juice is in jail getting strip searched by that guard dude. And there's a black guy in there and a white guard corrections officer. Now, I'm just going to tell you, okay, I'm going to tell you people, the listeners, that's not how a strip search goes in real life. You don't bend down on your knees. You don't have
We were talking about this last night when we watched it. They got a flashlight and they're spreading his cheeks for him. No.
He was shining it directly up there.
God, that is so Hollywood. That shit does not happen. That is ridiculous.
And so the guard's down there on his knees with his nose damn near an inch from his butt crack.
That's ridiculous.
I'm pretty sure he saw some cowbells.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure he saw cowbells, dude.
Oh.
I'm just saying. And they had to do the frickin' the butt shot.
Funny?
Dude, they're showing a lot of his butt this year.
Yeah, he put some spit on that thing. He spits on it and shoves it up his ass. That big freaking.
Why don't you tell them what we're talking about, though?
Once there's 2 guards in there at the time that they're doing this strip search of Juice, and they're got the flashlight and they're spreading his butt apart and they're looking up his butthole. And so they figure out he doesn't have anything. So they back off, and there's a white guy there, and there's a black man there, the corrections officer. So the white guy tells the corrections officer to go retrieve something. Tells him go ahead and retrieve something.
just to get him out of the room.
Get him out of the room. So he leaves. Size 9. So then the white corrections officer hands Juice this, almost looks like a big, I don't know how to describe it. How would you describe it?
Cylindrical object.
Yeah, almost looks like an old, what used to put a toothbrush in, like a toothbrush holder when you travel.
It reminded me of a flashlight battery.
Yeah.
Right. That's a good way.
Big, long thing. And so he hands that to Juice, and it's basically a knife. And so he hands it to Juice and says, Tully, this is from Tully, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And this is what you're going to use.
He didn't tell him what to do with it. He just handed it to him.
And says, you better hurry up and hide that.
Before my partner comes back.
Before my partner gets back. So Juice is kind of looking around. So he goes, you're naked. You need to hide that. You don't have any clothes, so you need to hide that someplace. So
he says there's no pockets.
There's no pockets, so you need to hide that. So Juice spits on it and then proceeds to shove it up his ass.
Saying, dude.
And it doesn't,
Spit is horrible. Nature's KY jelly. Ugh. Nothing better than spit. Just saying.
Jeez.
So, obviously the guard's in on that and gets him the weapon that he needs, and we'll later talk a little bit about that, but it's a shank in there, concealed. But dude, and I think we were watching last night, and Jake's like, it's not even like tapered. It's just a big blunt.
Yeah, what's funny is you guys thought
it doesn't go up that easy either.
No.
He was all like grunting and stuff. I'm like, boy, your face, you would be vomiting, dude. You've put something that big up your keister, dude. You keister something like that.
If they were used to it, maybe, but I don't think that's something Juice is used to doing.
No.
Maybe he is. That's why it went up so easy. I have no idea.
Yeah, well, he better get used to it if he's going to be in prison for very long.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's move on. Unless there's anything else on that, we know he's getting loaded with arm now.
So he shoved that thing up his ass to take in to be able to get rid of
contraband. Introduce contraband
up his anal hole.
And real quick before we finish that we didn't answer. The real way a strip search done, folks, is the suspect actually stands out next to the wall and he bends over and spreads his cheeks for you so that you can see and search his crack. You don't get down with a flashlight and put your nose in his bunghole.
No corrections officer touches the inmate, grabs his ass and pulls his ass. No, that shit doesn't happen.
You may tell him to cough, but that's as far as
but you do not touch the inmate. No, that's wrong.
Yep. Flick his cowbells.
That's Hollywood. Bullshit.
So Jarry and Unser meet in the trailer. This is a cool little scene. Now Jarry tells Unser, a lot happened here, guys. So jump in here where you need to. But basically, Jarry told Unser, hey, I took Egley's statement. Egley, for the audience, is the deputy that was shot by the Aryan Brotherhood.
The female one.
Right, the female one, the blonde female, when they were out there and things kind of went shitty. Now, we all know that she hasn't talked. She only talked to Unser. She told him the truth. But her statement is, we all know, different. Right. Well, it's basically that she didn't see a whole bunch, that she saw possibly Aryan Brotherhood, and
she's scared.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, and I don't know if she's so much scared as she's just very loyal, because we found out a couple episodes ago that's what Unser told Jax. Is he's like, why is she doing that? She likes the town. She wants to keep the town whole,
and she grew up there. He's saying,
right? And she went to school
with Jax.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Good call. Yeah. So obviously, Jerry's not privy to that information that Egley's not telling. Jerry's like, I went and got a statement. She doesn't remember a lot. We're going to look into Aryan Brotherhood and who's been most active. So that's kind of a dead lead for Jarry. And then they go into, she has a picture, of course, Jarry. Anybody want to go into this, of the Chris Dunn, right? And the date on it and all that. Let's clean this up a little bit. This is very interesting.
Yeah, she comes with a picture of this Chris Dunn, who's been now both identified by both Juice and Gemma as being the guy coming out of Jax's house the night that Tara was murdered.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she's got this rap sheet from an incident with him in Vegas for being drunk and disorderly. Turns out he was in custody in another state on the date that Tara was murdered.
Yep.
So now they're like, okay.
So they know they're full of shit. They know both of them are.
So now they're knowing that, okay, two people have now identified a man that wasn't even in the same state as the guy who likely did the murder. Yep. So now what's the motivation behind this? They're trying to figure that out. And Unser basically tells Jarry, let's pull Juice's deal, but let's not let them know that we know, and see kind of what happens.
And the reason he pulls Unser it pisses me off about Unser. He's so, I guess it's a man thing, pussy whipped. But he basically says, let's pull the deal on Juice, keep him from killing Lynn, but don't say anything to Gemma. Let's just say that Gemma confused it because Asian people look alike.
That was funny.
She'll
right. Just say that they all look alike.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yep.
Really?
I know,
Come
dude.
on, Unser.
I know, but that's how the show is, dude. They're all like work together, but they're all
about
prejudiced.
Gemma. Jesus.
Yep. In the yeah, you're right. Yeah. So that was a little thing. Hey, because she's wondering, she's like, what do we tell the DA about that? Being the wrong suspect. Really, an interesting thing here is Unser says, Jerry's like, what do we do? So he's pretty much calling the shots. Jerry's looking at him. You've been in this. You've done this before. You've worked this little town. It was clear Jerry was looking for direction from him. And that's when he said, like Jake said, which was a good point, is, hey, let's just keep this to ourselves. Let's see how this plays out. Basically, Unser it's to keep anybody else from getting killed. He says the best we can do right now, they want to move Juice out of AdSeg. They want to pull his deal. They want to put him in either solitary, or he says we'll throw him in either solitary or Gen Pop. But the best we can do right now is not get anybody killed, and we'll keep this to ourselves and we'll let it play out.
And he's right about not giving that information out. Yeah, you don't want to give that. You don't want people to know that.
Well, if they gave it out, then they'd start damage control. They'd figure out a way out of it.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. Good call. All right, guys. This sucks. Let's get into this little scene. We all know.
You got an audio clip for that?
A little Bobby dies, dude.
That was bullshit.
Let's have a little moment of silence. Moment of silence. Respect Bobby. Bobby, we hope you're somewhere in heaven. Probably not, because you're a dirtbag. But anyways, we hope you're in heaven riding a motorcycle with birds flying around you.
With autos.
You sons of bitches made fun of me last time we were on the podcast about him being the last. Remember what I said?
He just couldn't wait.
About the last 9? I said he's one of the last 9. Oh, you keep mentioning that. I'm like, dude, he's going to die. I don't think he'll make it through the next episode.
Chewie just interrupted a prayer. He's going to get struck by lightning. Jake, we were praying, weren't
we? We were.
And he just freaking right in the middle of a prayer. All right. So anyways, no, you're right, Chewie. You made a prediction that he was going to die, right?
I never thought he would make it out of this.
Right.
There's no, why would he? With Marks being as powerful as he is, there's no way that Bobby would make it out of there. No,
I didn't think he was going to make it.
I knew he would kill him. Why is he going to let him?
And
loose?
as much as they were messing him up, I mean,
they're not going to let him out of there. No, and it pissed me off. And at first, I thought when we saw it last night, I was like, "Oh shit, they're letting him out."
Yeah, they gave us some hope. They gave us some hope.
They're going to let him out.
Gave us some hope and tore it away.
Yeah, just tore it right out of us.
That scene was intense, man. It really was.
Let's lead up to it since we're talking about it. So Moses Cartwright, of course, the guy that's held him captive, head of Mark's security team, and the thugs. They break Bobby's jaw, and the purpose of that was right so he couldn't talk later.
And honestly, at the time that happened, I watched it today. I watched it last night, and then I watched it today, and you don't realize why they would do that.
No, when we watched it in the initial time,
I had no idea.
But it's just insult to injury.
Yeah,
and you found out later.
It's because we're letting you loose. We're gonna fuck you up because you're an ass, and you're in your club, and the president of your club's an ass. So we're gonna bust you up a little bit, but we're gonna give you back. And I really, at that point, I thought, well, maybe they're gonna give him back.
Yeah,
he's not gonna die.
So did I.
Yeah, I had hope. But anyways, Cartwright asked Bobby if he wants to know who gave up information for his freedom. And Jake, what was his answer?
Whatever it is, it all leads back to one of us slitting your throat.
Right. And that's what we opened the episode with, guys. That seems to be a little thing that Bobby kept saying over and over is all he cared about is it leading back to slitting your throat.
And guess what?
Somebody wearing a Reaper.
Guess what? A person, one of the guys wearing a Reaper is going to slit his throat.
That has to happen.
And they're going to cut. They're going to cut his heart out. I guarantee you, they will cut his chest and cut his heart out.
It has to happen. I won't feel fulfilled if it doesn't happen.
You just won't sleep at night, Jake.
Right.
I agree because they said it so much.
I know.
And Bobby was so adamant, being a good soldier, and he said.
That's what he said. He goes, you don't find people like you much. You're a good soldier. And then he punches him and breaks his jaw.
Mm-hmm. Let's move into the sad moment. So they meet up at the drill site, right? And Jax wants it right away is like, this should be me and you. And so, one of Jax's guys pats down, right? Chibs pats down, and one of their guys pats down the son, who's there, the son of Latricia. He's there. Jax is there, right? Marks is there. And then Bobby. So it's going to be those four. Oh, the dead body too.
The dead body's been pulled out. Yes.
Right.
Laid. And so then
they all pat each other down, except who's the one person that didn't get a security check?
Bobby.
Thank you. And I did. Obviously, this is hindsight.
I didn't catch it. Nope. I didn't catch it.
No, I didn't catch it. Well, I caught it the second time I watched it. But yeah, the first time we didn't think about it.
I didn't catch it.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't think, but that's smart. You wouldn't think that, but that's smart.
Yep. Very smart. So Jax, it's just Marks, the son, Bobby, Jax, and the dead body. Of course, we know that body is the one with the head sewn on it. It's not the actual preacher's body.
And the arm.
The head and the arm sewed on the torso.
Yes. Which he's a little cut up. So we remember Jack set that up earlier. He's a little cut up. Of course, they had shirt on and stuff, so you really couldn't tell anyways, unless you really examined. But Mark sees the body. He checks the arm for the tattoo for verification. He is, he's all in as far as that goes. That is the body. Now, he also shows him a little clip from the phone, right?
Right.
He does.
He's like, well, yeah, that's the guy.
Shows the kids boning him.
It almost was like, and I might read this wrong, but when I watched it the second time, it was almost like Marks didn't really know what the pastor looked like.
No.
And so we showed him the video. I was like, okay, yeah, this is the same guy that's in the bag right here.
That's what it was.
It seemed like that to me, but
that's what it seemed like to me. Like he didn't know, so we showed him the video and said, look, this is the guy.
Mm-hmm.
But then the odd thing is he shows him, then Marks looks at the arm for the tattoo.
Oh.
Right.
Have I got a little tidbit for you guys?
Okay.
Something that I picked up today. It's intense.
All right.
Coming at you straight from Law Abiding Biker Podcast. Okay, you guys are going to like this. Now, he shows him the phone. And he shows him a little clip. Earlier in this episode, you guys are on the edge of your seats?
Yes.
The audience,
sitting there.
The audience needs to be on the edge of their seats because I know a lot of people missed this. This is only because I watched it over and over.
Okay.
Earlier, when they're sewing the head on the body and the arm, Jax gets done with his little meeting. Tig meets up and Happy's there. Happy hands him the phone. Okay. He hands him the cell phone because they're getting ready to go meet Marks.
Okay.
They're getting ready to go give up the body, give up the phone, all that. Happy he takes the phone, he hands it to Jax. And he says, Jax looks at him and he goes, I had the kid take care of it, one of the members of the club. Jax is like, oh. Happy goes, I had to listen close. He goes, nuked all the preacher. And he also said, I left the boys out in case Marks wants to check it. They altered the video. They only did a little clip on there to show Marks that it was there. It will not be able to be used for anything because they nuked out the preacher's face and they nuked out the boy's face. So nobody who gets that will ever know who is in that video. Holding that card, fucking Marks in the process. Very quick scene, but I rewinded it. Like I went back. It's a minute 40 if you guys want to go.
Stuff, dude.
Minute 40
stuff.
if you DVR'd it.
I didn't see it.
I did not catch that.
I didn't catch it last night. I caught it today when I was watching and taking notes.
I didn't catch it.
So that phone don't have shit on it, guys. It don't have shit. It had a little clip. It was good enough. Marks is like, yeah, good. That's the phone. But they clipped it so you couldn't. The clip that they showed Marks was enough to make, that's the sex video. But it doesn't. When Marks actually looks at it later, he's going to realize ain't nobody to identify there.
So he's going to tell his defense attorney, you need to look at this phone.
Yep.
And there's not going to be shit
there.
on it.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's going to be effing awesome, dude.
On a little side note here, I know we're talking about this part with Bobby. My wife watches the show with me pretty religiously. And she didn't watch last night because, of course, I was with you. And she's watching it right now. And I'm just getting texts from her because you just saw Bobby die.
Oh,
and she's
yeah.
losing her mind.
It's
the fans, I'm telling you.
Nobody wanted to see Bobby die.
It's like Opie. Worse than, I don't know if it's worse than Opie, but it's close.
We haven't talked about that really, have we? How he died?
Well, we're going to. It's next. So we've set it up, Chewy. It's just those guys there. Everybody else leaves, right? Okay.
Bobby's got, basically when they pull him out, he's got a bandana tied around his mouth, inside of his mouth.
Almost like a gag.
Yeah, like a gag.
But they don't know.
And so the guys see him, Chib sees him, before everyone leaves,
right?
Chip sees him, and Chibs is very, very upset. He's pissed. He looks at him. He looks at those two guys. He looks at Marks, and he looks at what's the other guy's name?
Tig?
No, the guy with Marks.
Moses Cartwright.
Yeah.
He looks at him, and Tig is pissed, and Bobby's barely able to open his one eye, and so they end up leaving. And,
all but them.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's just those guys left, which I mentioned
it's
earlier.
Marks, Jax, the dead body, and Bobby, and
the boy,
and the pastor's son.
Mm-hmm.
So they're there, and they're talking, and Mark's hands, and so Jax shows him, hey,
the body, the
this
phone,
is the body.
We're there, mm-hmm.
And then Marks looks at it, verifies that the tattoo is there on the arm.
Right, does that very, very clearly.
And then Jax shows him the video. Well, I think it was before. Jax showed him the video right as he pulled the body out. Shows him the video. This is the guy. Marks walks over, pulls up the sleeve, sees, oh, okay, yep, the tattoo's there. Okay.
See, on that video is the tattoo. There's no faces.
And he throws the...
that's what I'm thinking.
He throws the phone on the body like they're going to take it all out together.
So then Marks grabs Bobby because Bobby's so beat to shit that he has a hard time walking, so that he walks him over to Jack. Oh, it's okay. And he's got one hand on his back. And so Bobby eventually is able to get
I think Jax pulls it down.
And Bobby says, with a broken jaw says, he's trying to tell him, and Jax,
got a gun.
Yep, a gun. And he's trying to look at him. And so at that point,
can you do it again?
They hit, gun. That's what it sounded like, dude. So,
good job. Thanks for playing along.
So basically, what happens is Marks pushes Bobby into Jax. Jax takes him. Well, they had shoved a gun down the back of Bobby's back.
Mm-hmm.
So Marks grabs the gun at that point and points it at Jax and starts talking to Jax. Well, the son of the pastor's son is standing there, and Bobby's to the right. And so
Jax is still kind of holding on to him.
And so Jax is like, you're a lying son of a bitch is what you are.
Actually, to correct you, he said piece of shit.
You're a lying piece of shit is what he tells him.
Mierda.
And Marks has the gun right on Jax. And Jax is thinking, he's going to kill me. And so Jax is standing there. And so now Marks starts talking to the kid, the pastor's son, and telling him, this is why you don't defy me. This is what you do.
Can you quote that, what he said?
Okay, let me see here.
Oh, you need your spectacles, for God's sakes. It says
you or your mother. Go ahead, Jake.
You or your mother get any ideas to betray me. This is what happens.
And he's got the gun on Jax. And so the second time I watched it, I'm like, oh shit. People were going to think that Jax is going to die. Well, he has the gun on Jax and immediately turns it to Bobby, point it right at his head. Boom, pulls the trigger and kills Bobby.
Yep.
Blows his head, blows his brains out. And so Jax, when as soon as that happens, Jax grabs Bobby and they go to the ground. And he's holding Bobby. And then Marks puts the gun at the back of Jax's head.
Mm-hmm.
And
never lie to me again or something like that.
Don't you ever betray me. Don't you ever lie to me. Jackson, calls him Jackson. Don't you ever lie to me, Jackson.
That would just piss me off, him calling him Jackson at that point.
Mm-hmm. No doubt, dude.
Yeah.
No doubt. Now, that obviously, we talked earlier about what kind of clear messages Mark's going to send to this boy.
And see, we talked about it earlier, and I thought, when he's talking about telling Jax, hey, we need to send a message, I'm going to send a message to this boy, I'm thinking, okay, what kind of message is he going to send? He's got to send a drastic message.
You're right. And I
didn't think he would kill Bobby.
I thought maybe Jax was going to give the boy to him and just trust that Marks wasn't going to kill him. Maybe Marks would beat the shit out of him or something.
Well,
this is what I pictured.
I thought they would I thought when Jax met up with him, he'd kill the son, the pastor's son right there. Boom.
Yeah. High likelihood.
And be like, you don't fuck with me.
Right.
But
that would send a clear message to the mother.
Killing Bobby is, oh man, it sent a message.
Yep. And so obviously Mark's got on his cell at that point. He's got Jax at gunpoint. He calls on his cell like Jax can't call because some people are wondering, why didn't Jax call his crew accused at gunpoint. So Marks calls him in. They come get their stuff, get what they need. They leave. The next scene we see, obviously, is the boy Sam Crow there. Obviously,
Loading
Bobby's dead. Yeah, loading
and
him.
Chibs shows up and
Now Chibs picked up, which was interesting, a casing. Remember that? You called it out, Jake.
it was the casing that killed Bobby.
Yeah.
Right? What's the significance of that? You think that's going to come up later? Because it was a very. This is the thing. They don't just do scenes like that.
No, you're
he bent
right.
over.
No,
he
you're
got
right.
the dirt off of it. He
That's
held
evidence.
it up.
That's evidence for
It's
something.
evidence because later, if they recover that gun, they can match that casing to that gun, and it's a little something that they have if they need it.
And
they
here's
may
the
have
thing.
the bullet in Bobby's head where they know he's buried.
Thank you.
And nobody, but yeah, you're right. But nobody knows right now. The sheriff's office, nobody knows that Bobby's gone.
No, I know.
Only the club and Marks know.
We
Right,
got 4
but
episodes left,
right.
or 3.
But aside from that,
Right.
regardless if anybody knows, what I'm saying is Bobby picked up a casing, and it was a very specific.
Chibs picked up the casing.
Chibs.
You're right. It was too obvious
yeah.
for it not to play a role.
Yeah,
later.
you're right. You're right.
That's the point.
Yep.
Okay, great. So the crew is obviously they load Bobby up and all that. Anything else? I mean, it sucks. Bobby's gone.
It was tough
But
to watch.
It was tough to watch. So let's move on and get a little bit deeper in this scene. What are we talking about here? All in now. Oh, we got to finish that scene up. You know what it is? That's after he picks up the bullet casing. That's when Jax tells Chibs, get the affidavit.
He does.
Right?
Yep, he tells him, yep.
Give the
send it.
affidavit to Patterson, and then Chib says, "Why don't we give it to Jerry?
Right.
And let her know.
Give it a win.
Give
Keep
it
it
a
close."
Keep her close.
Yep. So to
Keep her
me,
close.
Jax is like, we're effing done here. I'm all in.
Hey,
I got
guys,
nothing else.
I got to mention this. Look at his. If you go watch it, listeners that are listening to this, and all of us, if you go watch that scene again, look at his expression.
Jax's?
There's nothing.
Right. Did you also see? I think Jax is suspicious that Chibs is getting too close to
He tells
Jerry
him
because he tells
goes,
him
not too
but
close.
but not too close. I think that was key
Because
too.
he says, because Chip says,
call.
"Hey, keep her close," and Jax goes, "Not too close, brother."
Very good. Very good. See, I missed that. That's good. Yeah. Keep her close, but not too close. And so the affidavit, yeah, and this is what I say, Jax is all in at this point. He's like, I got nothing else. Fuck this. We got to take him to jail, and we'll find out later. That's his little plan to put a Band-Aid on the problem for now. But yeah, get that. And of course, Chibs is going to take it to Jerry. We'll talk about what happens later with that. It will give her a small little win there. Yeah. So, and they decide later that they're going to bury, which we'll see. They end up burying him on the property, right?
Yeah.
On the cabin
Because he
property.
Well, he
likes it.
loves the cabin. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. All right, let's move on to the next scene and we'll talk about this. But before we get into the next scene, guys, I hope you're really enjoying this content. We're working double time trying to get these episodes. If you want to support us, we really appreciate it. You can just send a general donation if you want, lawabidingbiker.com/donation. And we're going to try to get one episode of podcast per one episode of television series. Also, you need a motorcycle cell phone mount? Tech mount, guys. The Tech Gripper.
mount, baby.
The only way to go. If you want to get that, guys, you want to help us out and you need a cell phone motorcycle mount, you can use our affiliate link at Power Sports US. That's lawabidingbiker.com/Power Sports US. No additional cost to you. That's right.
I have it and it works great.
We do get a small kickback. True, tried, and tested by the sworn few MC.
That's
Love
right.
that thing.
That's right.
Don't get the Ram mount. Definitely the Tech mount's better. We used to run the Rams, but also you can always bookmark lawabidingbiker.com/Amazon or /B&H. That's right. No additional cost. We do get a small kickback for that, guys, too. You can just bookmark that if you want for your Amazon link. And anytime you make a purchase, it helps us out. It helps put a little fuel, as Lurch would say, in the law-abiding biker gas tank so we can keep moving this thing on down the road, guys. All right. Let's get into the next scene, guys. Jax sits down with Nero and Gemma. Why don't you pick this up, Chewy?
Here's something I want to say, though.
Nope. Don't do it.
Okay.
No, go ahead. I'm teasing.
All right. I was going to say, yeah.
Just shut you down, dude. Go ahead.
You need.
Nope. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. It just screws y'all up, doesn't it? Jake
okay.
likes it.
Hey, I got a name for you. Asshole. You need to go back. People that are listening, go back and watch this portion of it when Bobby gets shot and look at Jax's reaction. And then afterwards, look at his reaction
Why don't you tell us what it was? Because everybody will perceive that different.
There's nothing. He has no emotion.
I thought he had it when he first went down. He screamed. He was crying
at first, but no, he wasn't crying.
Yeah, he was.
When the guy was holding the gun.
He did. I have
of his
notes.
Head. But I would.
He says Bobby, and he looks at him. But there's something. There's just something not when if you've gone through. Well, I know it's Hollywood and it's a show. And
right here, Chewy. Look, Bobby, he's crying and hugging him. I remember that scene because I rewinded.
But there wasn't. Remember when Tara died? Remember how that was?
That might have. I mean,
it's his wife.
That might have taken everything he had. Losing Opie, his best friend, who he still wears a patch for on his cut, and then losing his wife, he may just be freaking done. He may have nothing left.
But what I'm saying is, try to, if the listeners and people that have, if you go back and watch it, look at his reaction to it, and this is based off of that person's prediction of maybe Jax is trying to take this club down.
Mm-hmm.
Look at his reaction to it.
That sure is an interesting point. That would be the colossal mindfuck of all time if it happened.
Seriously, dude. But seriously, watch his reaction to it. If one of you guys had died, I'm pretty.
Would you cry for me, Chewy?
I would. I'm
Sweet.
kind of.
Would you cry for me, Jake?
Oh yeah.
Dude, when I talk about people I care about, people that mean something to me, I get a little bit emotional. I do. I would now if I was to see one of them pass away like that in that manner, I'd be torn up.
It'd be
literally.
I would probably, if it was you, Chewy,
you would just sit over me and fart, wouldn't you?
No, I would actually cry. I would hug you, but then I would dry hump you as hard as I could, dude.
I'd do a fake teabag.
Yeah, dude, I would just teabag you.
And you'd hope I'd give it out
yeah, dude. One last. All right, well, okay, we got off track there, which is good, Chewy. Sorry. That's what this show's about, man, is what we're looking at, the insights, what's happening. Why don't you roll with where Jack sits down with Nero and Gemma? Everybody's in the cabin. They tell, basically at this point is when Jax tells them that Bobby's dead.
So basically what happens is at the scene, the guys come back, they load Bobby's body into the van.
Mm-hmm.
Happy's there, he's crying. Chibs is not Chibs, but
keep speaking up. You're good.
I'm sorry, not Chibs, but
Happy
Tig is helping him load the body in.
They get back to the cabin. They're going to bury him.
They get to the cabin. They get to the cabin, and everybody's there. And Jax walks in with everybody there, with Rat there. Everyone's there. Rat's girlfriend's there, the young girl. Wendy's there. Gemma's there. Nero's there. And he sits down with them and basically tells them. And Gemma's looking at him like,
Bobby's dead.
What's wrong? And this is what's good because it sets in with Gemma. This is all your fault, you dumb bitch.
Well, and that's
Jack says, Bobby's dead. He tells him Bobby's dead. And so Gemma, she knows. Now she's killed. She's got Jax's dad killed.
John Teller.
She's got her ex-husband, Clay, killed.
Clay Morrow.
Now she's got, and she killed Tara
Knowles.
And now she's got Bobby dead.
And
Bobby Munson.
And Bobby was the last one of the Redwood Originals. He's the last one.
Yep.
Of the first 9, they're all gone.
Everything that happened and every body that turned up this season has all been because of what's going on with Gemma killing Tara and all the Chinese people that got killed.
Yes.
All
of it.
The freaking son that got killed that was guarding the guns. I mean, all of that.
Yep. Remember they got killed. It's all on Gemma. All of it.
Yep. And Gemma gets up, and which was interesting, and she just gets up immediately and leaves the room.
And leaves.
And everybody's kind of wondering, like, and even Wendy, I saw this. Wendy's like,
and Nero's
weird.
like, baby. And he gets up and walks out. And then Wendy stands up and says, when is it going to end, Jax?
Or does it ever? Yeah.
Does it ever end, Jax? And she's crying, and she walks out. Well, then
how did Jax reply real quick?
He says it already has.
It already has.
What do you suppose he means by that? That was a
thank you.
I was like, whoa. I mean, it's almost like he's got an end game.
This is
okay, guys. So
I'm sorry, I talked over you.
This
Jake.
plays part into what this person said about Jax bringing the club down.
What say you, Jake, on that?
I don't agree.
You know,
I mean, watching the show, I say no, but I'm telling you, there's things that lead up to make you believe. Yes,
I'm gonna say this. I think that this is such an interesting point. It's not. I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that he wants the club to kind of end, but I'm not gonna believe that this was how he thought it would go down. Not even Tara dying. It's just, yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's something else. I don't think it's the fact he's trying to take him down. I think that he's got some kind of plan. Oh man, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say at this point. Where it's going to make any sense, you know?
Right. No. But the thing is, it already has.
Right.
Yeah, and you saw that as a powerful statement too, right?
Right.
So did I, and
right.
that's why I made a note of it. It already has. That can mean so many freaking things, is I think what you're getting at. And again, Chewy, I agree with you. That could all go back around to that little circle that Jax is like, oh, it already has ended. This club's ended. This whole mess is going to end. Mm-hmm. It already is in motion, is how I saw him take it. But I don't know, that he's trying to take the club down. And he's, my ultimate thing is, I've always said that since the very first episode this season, my whole prediction, Jax will walk away from this club.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Well,
in his dad's name,
we all agreed.
John Teller, in his dad's name, didn't want the club. That's my deal. And whether he's taking the club, I think that's what he meant by that. It's already in motion, as I think would have been a better way to say it.
And it appeared to me in that scene, everybody was pissed at him. The women specifically. Wendy, Rat's girlfriend, she gets up and leaves.
Right.
All of them leave.
This might be a little bit off. The same question, but we're talking about this prediction. My question to you is, if this prediction is right, is Jax complicit in Tara's murder? Do you think in order for this prediction to be right, he has to be complicit in her murder? Yes or no?
I talked to him about this the other day when I watched the first episode.
Chewy would make a good attorney. You just ask him a yes or no question, and he can't even answer. I'm saying yes, Jake.
You know what? I'm a police officer. I have to answer some when I'm on the stand. There are some.
No, it's a yes or no question.
Well, do I? Okay, ask it again. Do I think that Jax had a thing in killing Tara?
Yeah. Here's the question. In order for this person's prediction that Jax is really trying to take down the club, in order for that to be accurate, does that mean he needs to be complicit he needs to be part of it, or at least have knowledge of Tara's murder?
I say yes.
I want to answer this.
That's how I roll.
My only thought on the reason why he would ever have Tara murdered is because Tara was trying to bring the club down.
See,
that was my thought.
I thought last season he was going to kill Tara, but he didn't do it.
Right. And I had also thought that maybe he had his mother kill Tara because she was trying to bring all this garbage against the club to bring the club down. But now if you bring up the fact that maybe he's trying to bring the club down, no, that doesn't make sense.
No, Gemma's been too scared when she thinks Jax has found out. She's been too scared.
Exactly. So I don't believe so.
What did you say? What do you mean? Yeah.
I don't believe so.
You're right.
No.
You're right.
Man, I love this. Love it though. All right, let's move on. And in the interest of time, guys, because we've got still some information we want to get out to the listeners here. Jax sits down privately with Latricia and her son. And he didn't take any of the club in with him. This was very personal.
This is when everybody walked out and they're burying Bobby's body in the back in the cabin.
Digging the hole.
They're digging the hole.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. And shuts the door. Let's listen into what the little conversation they had.
What happens now?
The only way we can stop Marks is by having him arrested.
But you gave him the body.
Most of the preacher's still on the construction site. I'm giving the DA your statement, saying you got an anonymous tip. Maybe from one of your gang-affiliated parishioners. It'll lead the cops to the body. They'll have motive and your statement.
But you said having him arrested will just make it worse.
This is a Band-Aid until I can fix it permanently.
So that means my mom will have to testify.
She just has to back up her statement for now. I'm gonna bring you home tomorrow. You should find a good lawyer. I'll keep a couple of my guys with you. Look, I know this has been brutal, but I kept my word. You're both alive and safe. I'm not gonna break that promise.
So to wrap that up real quick in a little wrapper for everybody. So basically Jax to me at this point is like I said, at Bobby's where he was died, Jax is like, I think he's all in now. They're going to have Marks arrested. Like he said, it's a Band-Aid on the problem until he can make it permanent. I know he wants to kill August Marks, but this is a Band-Aid to at least control him for right now. He's got no other options. He wants her to get the affidavit. They're going to somehow get it to DA Patterson. We know how that's going to happen through Chibs, through Sheriff Jarry, but
Right.
they're going to get that little affidavit, and they're also going to make it look like she got one of the church goers, the parishioners or whatever within that church came to her anonymously with information about where her husband's body is. And that's going to get into the DA's hand. It actually gets into Sheriff Jarry's hand later.
Here's my thing, guys. They still have, what's his name though? Okay, so they arrest Marks, but what's his name? The guy that had Bobby in.
Yeah, but they need.
He's a security.
They need.
But he's going to lead that.
But they need somebody with a reaper to slit his throat. They don't want him in jail.
But
Dude, I love it.
But they need somebody to slit Marks' throat too.
Yeah, that could happen in jail.
Well-
Bobby made a promise. We have to see the promise, or I will not be happy.
That's
Okay.
right.
All right.
The promise is going to happen. But here's further into that. I now think of where Lynn's in jail. Juice is in there. Guess who else is going there? August Marks.
Yep.
And he's going to get put in the same ad seg because
It's going to be a damn mess.
my
Is what it's
God.
going to be.
And Tully's going to get involved too, you
Yep.
know.
Totally,
Yeah.
the KKK guy would probably end up killing all of them.
Freaking Marilyn Manson.
they've got Juice inside with a shank. They've got August Mark going there. They've got Lynn going there. Okay. This Juice has got a stronghold
Here's
for the
one
club.
thing. Here's one thing we didn't mention. What is the stuff that he puts on that shank?
That
We're going
powder.
to talk about that.
Okay.
Okay.
We are you guys, I have another revelation for you,
Good.
but we'll get to it. Okay. And for the listeners, you'll want to hang on, listeners. I know it's a long episode, but you have got to listen to what I have to say about that dagger and that powder.
Okay.
Okay. But we'll get to it. So they've got everything in order, right? We know that Chibs is going to take all that information to Sheriff Jarry. She's going to in turn share it with DA Patterson, making her look good and have a win.
At first, you didn't think she was because it's out of her jurisdiction, and why would some
quadrant? Thank you.
anonymous? Yeah. What? That's what she said.
Quadrant.
That's what she said. Her quadrant.
Quadrant.
But yeah, she says, why would someone believe some third party? Why would the DA believe some third party complaint out of my jurisdiction? How would this come about?
Right.
So it's kind of odd.
No, she did. You're right. And we're gonna play a little sound clip here and
Okay.
dive a little bit deeper. But you're right. And there's some interesting stuff in there. And when Chibs meets up with her, this is the first thing he says.
It rubs the lotion on its skin. It does this whenever it's told.
Do you guys remember that?
Whenever it's told. Or else it gets the hose again.
Bullshit right there.
All right, let's listen into this last sound clip of the show, and then we'll break it down.
Thanks for coming so quick.
Yeah, it sounded urgent.
Right. We were going to have this delivered to Patterson, but I thought it would help you. August Marks, heir to Damon Pope. He killed a pastor, Jonathan Haddam, Human Grace, just outside Oakland. He was threatening him and his family, using his church as a housing scheme.
This is from the wife?
Yeah.
How'd she know Marks killed her husband?
Chopped off his head, buried the rest of his body on one of his construction sites. The wife got an anonymous tip from one of her congregation.
Anonymous.
Yeah. I move on Marks now. He gets wind of this, he's gone.
So I'm supposed to tell Patterson that a woman I never met, way outside my quadrant, just happened to reach out to me to make the arrest?
If it's going to cause you a problem, I'll get someone else to deliver it.
I thought you were in bed with Black.
You're not in bed with anyone.
Don't do that. Treat me like I'm an idiot.
Listen, love. The Martin men put away. Black and yellow were finished, and we're all good with brown. Yes. Returns to balance. Things get quiet. No more bloodshed.
Tell me about Chris Chris Dunn. Juice and Gemma ID'd him as the guy they saw leaving Jax's house the night of Tara's murder. He's been MIA for weeks.
Probably why. Lynn knew he was sloppy, got him out of the country. When did Gemma ID him?
Right after she told me to stop being so righteous. Because she knew I was on the take and on your dick.
Shit. Sorry.
Do you think it's a mistake?
I don't know.
If it's no, take me. Right here.
What?
You heard me.
When?
I don't give a shit. If you have feelings for me, show me. Right now. If you don't, just walk away and we'll go back to playing cops and robbers.
Okay. There is a lot.
Take me right now.
That was a hugely important scene, I think, with those two. There's going to be more to that later.
What? Now, there was more to that right now.
Right.
And what happened right there?
I think she wanted...
No,
that's
let's
weird.
talk about what happened right there when I cut the scene off.
Okay.
He takes her balls deep over
Balls deep. She could shuck a cop's uniform faster than I've ever seen anyone do it.
Oh, yeah.
And she had she had no vest on either.
No.
There it is.
Enough of that.
You do really good.
ridiculousness.
You do really good sound
He does.
effects there, Chewy.
He makes a good donkey sound.
I like your
my-
your dance music.
My brother that works with me,
He does a better job. You're
freaking
right.
Good.
The donkey?
Yes.
Oh, does he?
Dude, it's hilarious. But anyways.
So yeah, he ends up boning her in front of Quinn, who's just watching.
Quinn is like,
Quinn's like, whatever.
Quinn's like, what the hell?
Now I have a serious question about this, and this is going to bring something up to you guys because you're going to be like, wow, because I need you to answer this question. Me being the president of the sworn few, if I had somebody bent over the hood of a car, would you watch me?
I would.
Is it a patrol car?
I'm just saying.
No, I'd watch it.
Would you watch my white butt cheeks? Just pumping in and out, dude.
You know what I would be watching for?
What?
I'm the sergeant of arms.
I would
here.
be more watching for who's watching you.
Exactly.
Versus
That's
what you're doing.
I would be watching what it depends on what the girl looked like.
That would be a good
and then
point.
I would be like, I'd be like, who else,
dude?
Because we don't want our freaking cut, people seeing our cut, and
Well, I would
our
take it off.
Our president boning some freaking cop on the top of a cop car here in the.
Would you try to record it?
No, I wouldn't. Record
No.
Really?
No.
There's nothing good.
Hell
come of
no.
that.
Would it excite you to watch?
Depends on what
This
the
is
girl.
going nowhere.
No, dude, it depends on what the girl looks like. You're not gonna excite me, dude.
The worst part about that scene was we had to see the Scott's butt.
Oh,
Dude, he pulled his pants down around his ankles and he's just romping her.
But here's the thing, Hollywood, pull the woman's underwear off.
Well, I think that
so
happened.
that at least no, it didn't.
You're a pervert,
Dude,
No, I'm saying
what a pervert.
make it look real.
You just wanted to see
Dude,
Jerry's
Dude, I've seen some porn where they
Vagina.
move the underwear to the side.
That's bull. No,
It
no,
happened.
no,
in
no,
true
no.
porn style.
Well, whatever, but
Dude, he's
make
a
it look real.
Oh
You're
yeah.
not bunny humping.
Jake's
the
like,
freaking
takes me
underwear.
back to my college days.
Right.
bunny humping the underwear. I've been to Victoria's Secret.
All right, enough
So,
of that,
no.
dude.
But anyways, I don't know what she was doing here. I don't know if she was trying to get his loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
Now that Gemma knows that they're humping,
Right.
she wants to get his loyalty. Maybe.
You know, but he gave her, and she probably already knew this because, we knew it watching, but he gave her a lot of intel there that, you wouldn't.
He gave her more than intel.
Yeah, he gave her,
He gave her some bone.
He did.
Sorry.
He did, but he basically explained, okay, if this is done, the black's out of the picture. So is yellow. We're good with brown. He gave her the intel on kind of what their ultimate plan was, at least from his point of view.
Right, but she wants to make sure she has him on the
And she
fucking
does.
hook.
Mhm.
But you know what? In my opinion, he gave up more than he should have, and it's because he's that close. And Jack's gonna find
And
out
Jax
about this.
told him.
Because Quinn watched him fuck her on top of the
And
car.
Jax told him.
Good
Jax told
point.
it. Jax told him. Not too close, brother.
Is that too close?
But you know what? It might
Jax
be.
has been a lot closer to other people,
But to an OMG, it might be the height of coolness to fuck a cop on the top of her car like that, just freaking dog. Well, I mean, it wasn't doggy style, but I mean, he
had her legs all
he
spread
railed
out.
her right there, and they might think, oh damn, he might get a patch for that shit.
But did you see what's his name? Is it Quinn?
Yeah, it's Quinn.
Yeah, Quinn.
He's looking at him like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Jesus.
I know.
Yeah.
So on a serious note, I put I saw that, right? And I watched the episode and I'm like, okay, that's ridiculous. So I put in with San Joaquin County, she's the sheriff of San Joaquin, but she works for Charming. Okay. She's the sheriff assigned.
Maybe a contractor.
Right.
Or something.
Yeah. So she's the sheriff of there.
Right.
So I actually got online this morning and I did a public disclosure request to get her footage of her dash cam because it should be disclosable.
You're right, it should be.
Christ.
I'm just saying. No, it should be public disclosure, dude. I'm just okay.
That's hilarious.
I can't
bro.
stop.
I would like the Coban video of that.
I would like the.
You're being audio and video recorded.
All you see is Jerry. Okay, there is a lot that now Jonathan Haddam is the pastor's name. Obviously that they're talking about now. He also, did you see, which was really important during this little conversation, is Chibs told her that, yeah, they found his body. He didn't have a head, right? Specifically told Jerry in that conversation that he was killed, and he told her about the affidavit,
yes,
all that. But he also specifically told her that he was beheaded.
Chopped off his head.
Well, now, why is that?
And this was before.
Because that's how she's going to find the body.
But wasn't
right.
this?
That's how she'll ID it.
Yes.
Gave her the map.
But this is all before he humps
right
that she asked for his unity, basically.
Right, because she looks at what he gave her, and you actually see the map, and it's, it looks like a map my 11-year-old would draw, but still,
right,
it's a map.
Did you guys know where the map was pointing to? A little trivia for the audience, if you are out there. Little trivia: what was the name of the place that the map was pointing to? Anybody? It was Thorn Hills Business Park. It was written on the map and it was pointing to, that is where the body. What is Thornhill Business Park, I should say? Little trivia for you there, Jake.
Very nice.
That's how we roll.
I did not pick that one up.
There you go. So let's finish this up with them, but there was some more content in there that was kind of interesting. And you're right, Jake, you did bring it up. This was huge because she was kind of questioning what was going on, and Chib says to her, Lynn and Marks are put away, black and yellow. So Lynn, obviously, triads, and Marks, he's put away, black, which and yellow are finished. So remember, who's he talking about, black and yellow?
Marks and Lynn, so basically the Chinese and the blacks.
Right, but he says Lynn and Marks are put away, so black and yellow are finished, right?
Right.
He's referring to those. And we're all good with brown, which is the Mayans,
and anybody related to Nero with that side of the gangster,
right?
Side too,
exactly. And he says, I had to rewind it a couple times because it's hard to hear him. He says this restores the balance and things get quiet. Basically, he's telling her,
God, he's hard to understand,
which is what she wants.
Yes, she's trying to make Charming whole and make it look in her own twisted ways and her corrupt ways. She's trying. Her ultimate goal is to make it look like she's a good sheriff and she took care of this problem, that she's controlling it, I should say. All right. So she does call Chibs out on this, that Gemma knew she is on the take and on his dick. We hear this. Also, Gemma's ID'd Chris Dunn, which was fairly important. And he's been MIA for a couple weeks. Remember this? And that's what she tells him. She's been MIA a couple weeks, and Chibs just blows it off. He knows he's dead. He was there when they stabbed him in the head with a knife. Chibs is like, yeah, well, that's probably just that sloppy because they did sloppy work, and so now he's on the run. So he kind of just blows that off.
I think Chibs did a good job of playing that off. I don't pretty much know what the fuck you're talking about.
Right. Sounds like he did sloppy work, and now he's on the run.
Right.
Yeah, so he's still boning her and lying to her at the same time. It's deep, very deep, Jake. Just saying. Oh boy, guys, I got a little tidbit of information. This is some of the stuff that you're waiting for here. I told you to stay around for. We're going to talk about Juice coming up here and the shank and all that. But here's the ending scene. So let's go through these. Do you guys, why don't you start, Jake? Here's all the ending scenes in order that we're going to talk about, guys. Police are digging up the body.
Right.
Right. and they find the body.
They do find the body,
which is the actual pastor's body.
Yes.
Right, the body without the head. It's
Without
the
the
torso
head
and the legs.
and
the arms are gone. Then
Jonathan had him.
Right. And then it cuts to a scene where Unser is basically leaning over a bulletin board it's got a picture of
in his trailer.
In his trailer.
In his trailer. He's got a picture of Dunn there, and then he's got the crime scene photos from Tara's murder. And it's like he's mulling over in his mind. I think he's really close to figuring out that because Juice and Gemma ID'd this guy, even though he wasn't there, even though he was out of state. He's really close to figuring out what really went down.
He knows.
No.
It's killing him.
He knows.
Yeah, he knows.
He knows because
can't prove it though.
He made the assumption when the sheriff came in, Sheriff Jarry came in and met with him in the camp, his camp trailer there. He says, "Okay, take the thing away from Juice. Take his
take him out of AdSeg, put him in solitary,
put him in solitary. Take away his
deal,
and
he hasn't put into.
Take him away, and then he says,
"Let it shake it."
Blogs my mind because he knows right now because he says, tell Gemma, let him think that Gemma just Chinese all look alike, whatever she said, they all look alike. So let her off.
I agree. I think he. I don't know if he's put 100% of it together yet because the way he was leaning over that and is like, he's using his I'm a detective and I'm figuring it out, but he's going to.
As soon as Sheriff Jarry said,
did I screw you up?
No, I'm yeah.
Brain fart?
Yeah, brain fart. As soon as they, I had a brain fart. I don't know.
All right. Chewy had a brain fart, everybody.
Right.
And
so we'll go to the next part.
Yeah, no. But yeah, Unser is, I think you're right. I think I know what you're on track there, Chewy, and Jake is too. That Unser knows, he knows in his heart what really happened, but he's still struggling to put it together. I don't think he knows exactly. He knows somehow Juice is tied up with Tara's murder, and so is Gemma. I don't know if he truly knows that they're the one, but he's really, that scene to me is he's putting it together. He's got his little board, and that's how they do it. They do the hierarchy, whatever. He's got Chris Dunn there. He's got Tara's murder photos right there. He's looking at those. He's in deep thought, putting those together. And I think by the end of this season, Unser finds out, although he's going to die because of it, is my prediction. But he's going to figure it out.
Ultimately, I think Unser, we know he was in love with Gemma. And ultimately, those feelings are still there. And I'm wondering if he just doesn't want to admit it.
Yeah, good call. Good call, dude. I don't know. All right, if there's nothing else on that, let's talk about Juice here. He's in a cell.
Right.
And all of a sudden a CO comes up and grabs him, and he's kind of freaking out on what's going on, because this isn't the plan. But right before he gets him out of the cell, you'll notice he grabs that little item that he keistered. Well, no, he grabbed the item that he keistered.
Yeah, right.
The shank.
And he puts the that stuff on it. What is that?
Well, he did that earlier. What do you think that is?
What is that, Ryan?
Right. Okay. Are you guys ready for this?
Give it to me, Ryan.
I don't think you guys can handle it. I don't think you can handle it. Okay, so why don't you guys tell me, Jake, why don't you tell me what happened, and then I'll tell you what really happened. This is the great thing. It's not to make anybody look bad, because if you don't pay attention to what's going on here, I had to rewind it 4 times to make sure. So tell me, you watched it twice. You watched it last night. You watched it this morning.
When he initially got the stuff that he put in it?
Yes.
They brought him, the guy brought him a magazine. And inside the magazine, there was the roll of electrical tape and something inside of a little plastic baggie.
A powdery substance.
Right.
Yes.
And so what he did was he sprinkled it. He sprinkled it into kind of the base of where that shank was, and then he wrapped the duct tape around it to the point to where you thought he was encasing it in, but I thought he left the gap at the top, so I almost thought it was a poison, so if he stabbed it, it would get into the wound.
That's what I thought, too.
That's what I
initially
thought.
So you think he's putting the powder on the blade?
No, I think he was putting it at the base of it, but when he, almost like setting it up for when he stabbed, it would get into the wound somehow. But, it might be reading way too much into that, but I couldn't understand what that powder was. So that when they do an
autopsy or something, that shows that he's got something in him?
Maybe he's got heroin. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So last night we were watching, so you actually saw very well.
Right.
We were thinking, is he poisoning the blade? What's the duct or electrical tape for? So rewatching it, exactly what happened is he opens it, like you say, for the audience, because we have to create a picture here for the listeners because it's not visual. I'm going to make it visual. So like a toothbrush travel container, like you said, which is a very good description of it. The top comes off, the little portion, And in
the bottom part,
the actual shank, it doesn't, either way, top or bottom, but it's segregated. So most of it, it's a full thing. And then just a quarter of it is the cap. Okay.
Right.
Just like a toothbrush container. You pull that cap off. Now, what's interesting is that shank, he moves it. It wasn't like secured in there. So like the shank is loose within the cylindrical object. Because I thought it was part of the, part of the lid, the cap.
Okay,
It's not. If you go back, it's actually loose in there.
And it moved.
Okay. And he actually moved it out of the way. So then what he takes is the cap, the little cap, he sets it in his hand. He sets the shank inside the little cap. If he's got his palm out and he's got the little, cup there, he puts the shank in that and it's kind of leaning over and it's kind of just leaning in there. And then he takes that powder and he fills that whole cap with it. And he fills it up. And then he takes the rest of the body and he connects it back with the cap. Well, before he did that, to keep the powder in the cap, he takes the electrical tape and so he's making it into a shank. Because like I say, the shank is actually loose. So he has to secure that shank. So the electrical tape serves two purposes. Number one, it secures that shank to the cap. So you could actually put it through your middle and forefinger and use it as a shank. With the cap in your hand, it also secures that powder within the cap of that shank. So hopefully that makes sense to the listening audience. But it was very specific how he did it. But what is it in the cap? And
what is that?
Why are you putting it in the cap? That's not going to poison anybody. Even if it was poison, you would put it on the blade.
It's interesting. Yeah, you would.
So
I don't know.
Well,
yeah, I have no.
We're
idea.
here to predict, boys.
I don't know.
So
maybe it's some of the heroin that
I'm thinking it's China White that he put in there
to send a message.
And I think that what's going to happen is he's going to get at Lynn because he's told to, but at the end he's going to make it look like it was not him somehow, and that drugs were involved and China White was involved because that's what the triads were pushing, dude. That's the only thing I can pull out of my arse right now.
You know what? That's very logical. That's more logical than I was thinking. The only thing I was thinking maybe it's the drugs too, and they were gonna, kill him and sprinkle it on him and show it as that's a message. It's a message. This is over this shit. But that's kind of along the same lines of what you were thinking.
Right.
Exactly.
So, you know what, guys? I don't have a lot on that. That's the one that's got me. We do know exactly what I explained, and that's going to end up next in episode 10. We're covering episode 9. That's going to end up, and we're going to find out about that. That's my only prediction, guys. If you have any predictions, head over to lawabidingbiker.com/SOA13, and you can comment right on the website, and we can get in a little discussion. We'd like to know what you guys think. Also, you can hit up our Facebook page, lawabidingbiker.com/Facebook or /Twitter. And we like to hear your guys' comments. So let's finish out the outgoing scenes here. This is where Juice, he is put in solitary, right? And he's freaking out. And
they come grabbing me and he's freaking out. Where am I going?
And he grabs the little weapon and the guard lets him basically. And then they end up putting him in solitary confinement, shut the door on him. He's yelling, what's going on? The guard actually tells him, Juice says, where is Lynn? He's yelling it. While the corrections officer is putting him in the cell, he says, it wasn't our call. We will let Telly know.
Yep.
Totally.
Good.
No.
Totally.
Mm-hmm. So that's where he ends up. All right, here there's another scene here. They are burying Bobby in the cabin property, right? Mm-hmm. Gemma needs some time with Bobby.
Yes.
She tells everybody, and everybody leaves. In fact, Jax rides off on a street glide special. And
all the guys show up in the cabin. They have mud on their boots, and
that was weird.
Like, get out! You guys got mud on your boots, so they go out and they clean their boots.
They go back to the mud room. Mm-hmm.
Yep, and then Abel, is it Abel or is it the other kid?
No, it's Abel.
Abel's the old one.
Abel's the one. So they go out, and then Abel comes around the corner.
Door's open,
and he walks out the door and listens to Gemma talking to Bobby
over Bobby's body. Was Bobby talking back?
No.
No. What a twist that would be. Just wakes up, dude.
Bobby was dead.
No. Gotcha.
Gemma was again
boogity
apologizing for her bad deeds.
Right.
And it's just adding to, and Abel it's still standing there with that lobotomized look on his face. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
I'm overusing
is...
that word, but it's just like, you know what? He's looking at, he's losing his damn mind.
Right. Yeah. And, but what did she say exactly? Do you guys remember?
I don't exactly.
It was
she was saying she's sorry.
Yeah, it was, I didn't see this.
Basically, I didn't see this.
I'm so sorry. I had no idea. I couldn't see all this.
Yeah.
Please forgive me.
Yeah, I've killed like 3 other people in the club, but yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good call. So Marks is being let out. We see this. He's being taken out of a restaurant in handcuffs by the police, by the popo. And Jax and Chibs are next to their bikes. They're close. They're watching. They make eye contact with Marks. And let him know.
So they make sure he knows it was them.
Yes.
Isn't the other guy there too?
And as they drove by, they were, and Jax was eye fucking him. He was like, "You're next, man," when he was driving by.
That's a good call. So Jax actually, because Moses, right?
Yeah.
Moses Cartwright is there, and he's watching him being put in the patrol car.
Then after he leaves,
on their bikes.
After the guy drives, after Marks gets driven away in a patrol car, then they get on their bikes and drive by and just stare him down the whole time. And I'm like, somebody with a Reaper's gonna come to bro.
Well,
dude.
What's
nice.
What's the guy? What's the guy that had Bobby? I can't remember his name.
Moses Cartwright.
Moses Cartwright.
That's the fourth time we've told you this episode.
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying.
They're gonna kill him.
Well,
they are.
That's what we're talking about. They're going to slit his throat. It all leads back to slitting his throat, Chewy.
Yeah, for sure.
I love it. All right. So, they eye fucked him hard when they're riding their bikes out of there.
He's dead.
Yeah, he's a dead man. Oh, I can't wait to because he pisses me off. All right, guys, I know you've been sticking around. We're going to wrap it up here, and we are going this. You'll definitely want to stay tuned for right here. We're going to wrap it up by talking about the scenes for episode 10 coming up. We rewinded it. We paused it. All that, took notes. We're going to tell you what you can expect coming up in episode 10, which will be next Tuesday. So, do you guys want to talk about these short scenes there, Chewy, or do you want to? Who are you texting, dude? You're on your notes?
My wife.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
My wife. I did see some things.
Tell her you're busy with Sheriff Jarry.
Yeah.
Just saying. Go ahead.
Sheriff Jarry. I did see some things in the previews that struck my
for the next episode.
What's the guy they've been dealing with?
Tyler,
the black guy, Tyler. He turns his back on him, and he shows right here.
How do you know that?
When the Mayans and Rat get the president of the Mayans.
I think it's the Grim Bastards that gets.
I'm sorry,
it is.
You're right. The Grim Bastards and Rat get taken, and
but
Tyler is there,
right?
And he's talking to Marks.
To Moses.
No, to Moses. I'm sorry, to Moses, and he's admitting, "Yep, we got him."
Yeah. What else?
That was one of the previews, and then there's one where Unser, I believe it's the KKK guy, one of the bucktooth varmint white trash guys from Tully's guys, has got Unser.
We don't know that. But you can't tell it all. That was my guess last night.
It is.
That's your prediction.
That's my prediction.
Because you can't see his face at all. That was just my guess.
I think it's that guy that fought Jax.
So let me clean that up for the audience. What Chewy's talking about is there's a scene of next upcoming episode, and Unser is fighting, and there's a white guy. That's all we can tell. He's got a revolver. He's being pushed up against a wall, and in the background, you can see a hospital bed. You can see a shower. Here's what I'm telling you, is rewinding that several times. That is Egley's room.
Excellent. That's what I thought. That's why I think it's what Chewy's saying with one of those guys, because they're figuring out
that's how
that she's ratting them out for shooting her.
Yes.
And they're trying to take her out. And Unser's trying to protect her. Yes. And that's what's happening here.
Put it. Thank you. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's Egley's room. That's our prediction. That is the little Weasley bastard from the AB, the Aryan Brotherhood. He finds out that Egley has told Unser the truth. Sheriff Jarry already said in the earlier episode she's digging into who's been active in the Aryan Brotherhood. That guy shows up at Egley's room. Unser's there visiting her, and he's gonna try to take out Egley. That's my prediction because I try to put all that together. So, any other on that before we hit the other scenes?
I agree with that 100%.
I agree.
All right. So, Moses Cartwright is with Tyler, obviously, as Chewy said, and he tells Tyler, "We know how tight you are with Teller." That's what he tells Tyler. Moses says, "We know how tight you are with Teller." That bond is going to be going to surface to Mr. Marks. So basically, he's telling him, "You know what, Tyler? We're going to let Marks know about that. We've dug into you. We know you're tight with Teller and all that." Tyler later observed standing next to Moses, and of course, the Sam Crows being shook down and all that, and the Grim Bastards president. All right, Moses. We later see a scene where Moses has Rat and the president of the Grim Bastards in the same holding cell that they had Bobby. Okay, and he is holding a knife and says, "Who goes first?"
My prediction
I
is
have a prediction.
Rat
too.
dies.
Go with it. This is the time.
That was exactly what I was going to say.
Rat's gonna get killed.
Rat's going to get killed, and here's why I say it. I know I talked to you guys about this last night. We basically have nothing about Rat, and last night they give us some character development with him where, you know, first of all, he's being a dick to his girlfriend. Then he tells her he loves her. Then she says, you know what, I love you. So they're trying to, that's extraneous shit we don't need. It's building into Rat's demise.
Yes. You're right. They're trying to make us like Rat so that they can F us and we'll be sad when he leaves.
Right.
You're right.
That's
Good call.
That's where we bring this jackass here.
There you go. Called you a jackass. So let's finish up here. Jax meets with Tully and says, you need to make sure Juice gets to Lynn. Tully says, well, I'm working on it.
I'm working on it.
Yep. And so obviously Jax is still on track to have Juice, even though he got put in solitary. We're not sure what's going on there. I think Tully's playing Jax. I think Tully.
I do too.
Because he wants him, and now Jax doesn't know. He got pulled out of EdSeg. But again, that's probably because of Jerry telling the DA, pull the deal. Right. So we don't know if Juice is getting pulled because Tully's calls or because of the DA or both. All I know is by this scene, Jax is on track to have him kill Lynn. All right, you want to pick this up? Anybody?
Sheriff Jarry says,
hello?
I'm missing that part.
Oh, Sheriff Jarry is with Unser and says, you can't keep protecting me, Wayne. That's what she says. It's a really quick scene, and that's all she's seen saying is, you can't keep protecting me, Wayne. So I don't know who she's trying to protect, you know? Or you know, Wayne's trying to protect her at some point. That will come out. Jack shoots something, or it's a really quick...
Shows that,
right, he's shooting somebody, but at this point, I don't know who.
That could be from a previous episode, too.
No. When they're good about when they do the scenes for the next episode, it's only... When they start the episode, they show you scenes from all season. But when
he's shooting somebody then.
But when they're doing the scenes for the next episode, it's all that episode. So yeah, he's got a silencer on his pistol. He's shooting somebody. Nero is talking to somebody saying, it's got to be Jax. I don't know who he's talking to because they don't show.
Ooh. And what's he talking about?
I didn't see that.
That's a hard... I remember that, but I was like, I don't know what that is, honestly.
Wow.
It was a quick little scene. All right, back. There's two black guys. This is a really quick scene. I can't figure it out, but there's two black guys shooting at some glass. They've got shoulder holsters on. They've drawn their guns. They're shooting at like garage. It's like a big garage door, and they're shooting glass. And all of a sudden, an explosion and fire happens, and these two guys get blown back.
I saw that. That looks like Unser's trailer.
You think it is?
I think it's going to be some of those guys that are working for frickin' Moses Cartwright, because they're the Special Forces Blackwater guys with the shoulder holsters trying to get something, and they planned something to get these guys.
But they set them up with a bomb.
Yeah, they set them up. So boom. That's what my prediction.
It looked like Unser's trailer.
Right.
Hey, I like it, dude. I like it. Jax, we see real quick with a semi-auto rifle, a little short barrel semi-auto rifle. He's shooting at somebody. He's flying rounds, but we can't tell who it's at. Rat is being punched in the holding cell, which is good with your prediction.
Right.
I think
he takes a huge
he's gonna
punch.
die.
And if it's not today, it's going to happen. Or next week, it's going to happen.
He's dead.
I agree. And Jax last is with Gemma and says, oh yeah, Jax is sitting there with Gemma, and he looks right at her and says, you knew this was going to get you in trouble.
Yep.
Oh, what is that about? Finish up, guys, with that, and then we're going to take it out.
That could be anything where he might, I don't think that's the point where he found out she killed Tara, but he might find out that she lied about this Dunn guy.
Who finds out?
Jax. Because, you knew this was going to get you into trouble. I mean, what else could it be?
Right. And maybe she'll lie. Well, she will lie. Yeah. I don't know what that little conversation's about, but it's going to be very, very interesting. Did you guys notice this before we take it out real quick? There was for the first time, I'm sure there's been others, but there was an actual commercial. We always see the Harley commercials, right?
Right.
During the Sons of Anarchy, because Harley's a sponsor of it. They give them all the bikes and all that kind of stuff. There was an actual BMW commercial sport touring bike. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I was fast forwarding. I did not see that.
I know. I had to stop fast forwarding because I saw it. Of course, there was a Harley commercial, and they're doing the new Street 750 and 500. Of course, if you guys want to know all about that motorcycle, I did a full video, me and Lurch, full review video, full blog, lawabidingbiker.com/street750. It's a new little bike that Harley has out. A lot of people can get into it. It's a reasonable price. Good running little bike. Of course, they show it burning out like on all this, and it's like not really that type of bike, but whatever. It's not that big a motor, but I'm sure it could burn the tire if it wanted. But you guys can head over there and check that out. We really appreciate you guys being with us. That was a loaded ass episode, guys. What do you think,
Thanks
man?
for hanging with us, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We're going to have you back up, Jakey.
Jake Justice in the house.
Mm-hmm. Popped his cherry. He's probably the first guy, because everybody, when they first come and do their first podcast, they're always, for whatever reason.
He does some good shit.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, they're usually a little nervous, and guys tend to try to take the edge off, and they take the edge off too much. Mm-hmm. But Jake didn't fall for the trap, but he will eventually.
He's good.
I'm sure he will.
I'm sure he will. I don't know, guys. But anyways, what are we going to call to action today, guys? Yep, here we go. The official app, guys. You get all the episodes first. You get them before everywhere. You get them before iTunes, Stitcher, and all that. You can get our app, official app. You can get it on the iPhone or the Android, lawabidingbiker.com/app. You can figure it out over there. I tell you how to do everything. That's right, guys. If you want to call in, please leave us a message, 509-731-3548 from your phone. We want to know your thoughts on Sons of Anarchy and all that, or any other topics for the show for our regular episodes. Of course, from anywhere in the world, we have worldwide listeners in 30 different countries, and we appreciate that, guys. Shout out to all the different countries. You can leave us a voicemail right from your computer, lawabidingbiker.com/voicemail, guys. If you don't have the money to donate or support us, you can always just head over right now and to iTunes or Stitcher Radio and rate us. That's lawabidingbiker.com/iTunes or /Stitcher Radio. The tunes, or the ratings, help us get noticed. We want to get noticed, Chewy. Yeah, there you go. All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
All right,
Peace
thanks,
out.
guys.
Keep the rubber side down.
And the shiny side up.
Rock out with your cock out.
Rock it out. Thanks, Jake Justice.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for listening to the Law Abiding Biker podcast. Please listen to our next episode.